Same bat time, same bat channel. Brando's at the big desk.
Guys, yeah, 2 o'clock here as we get going into the final couple hours of an afternoon that's turning into a positive one if you're looking at equities, obviously, across the board. But I want to highlight this to kick things off right away. This is 5.5% now for crude oil, and absolutely just no bid in sight all day long here for oil. So we're just grinding to the downside. 30 minutes left in the pit session over in Chicago for oil futures. So we'll keep an eye on that. There's also this XOM 420, 4.2% now downside, basically day lows, heavy selling right across the entire energy sector as we get going into the final couple hours. I saw this during lunchtime and was looking around for quite some time. Heavy volume here downside for Boeing, but I wasn't able to find a reason for this. It has kind of gone away here as far as volume is concerned, but still pretty ugly day. Big move down for Boeing. But yeah, there is the energy group. The entire thing very weak as we head through the final couple hours here, but we'll keep an eye out for where that actually ends the day. Downside. Meanwhile, oil down 4+, Tesla up 4+. There's the story for you. Nice day for Tesla across the board. Amazon, Costco, Walmart helping as well to the upside. Google, yeah, they liked it, whatever it was that came out of the Pixel event. Microsoft, Meta, Oracle, Adobe, to name a few here. Apple kind of chopping around, not really doing much today. I did note during lunchtime volume across the board for Apple, a little bit lighter than usual. AMD standing out today. It was Intel yesterday, if you remember, but AMD today with a nice day, almost 3% to the upside. Oil tumbles, yields downside, dollar downside, so everything across the board coming off as we head here through the afternoon, which is benefiting, obviously, some of the tech names and the NASDAQ across the board, 0.7, 0.15 right now for the S&P 500. If you were with us during the pre-market this morning, we were talking about Google, obviously teeing up this event that happened at 10 o'clock. You get everything that was already on the internet as far as details for these devices were concerned. I was reading a couple of days ago they were going to launch the new Pixel tablet as well, but I didn't see anything about that. So Android 14, Pixel Pro, Pixel 8, and Pixel 8 Pro come out. They like the camera. That big move up to day highs on Google shares happened when they were talking about the camera, and then it came back in when they went into some of the AI stuff. But tons of tech. Pretty cool event, guys, right across the board.
The question everybody wants to know is, before I even finish asking if Brendan ordered it, he did. So, you know, he said he was going to order it. I was like, you're really going to? You're just kind of saying that, Brendan. And Brendan ordered it. But before we get to that, someone, like you're asking, people are asking, or you even just said, we don't know why Boeing is down. I think I have a pretty good idea why Boeing is down. Because Boeing's down because I complain about it every single day and then don't actually sell it in my personal account. So I whine and you know what about this stock, and this is a downward trend, and the trend is your friend, and I still actually have the shares that I've been hanging on to from a long time ago that I should just get rid of. But I'll cross that bridge when we get there. Alphabet, the only good thing about Alphabet today was I got away from it with a couple of paper cuts here because I was looking for the sell the news event. So after it started, I was just basically looking to play off the highs. It put a lower high in here at 134, so I sold that for a tight stop for 25 cents. And then it put another one off the high of the day here toward the end of the event, and then basically the same thing for 25 cents again. Eventually, it just turned with the market, but really, this just followed the market in the afternoon. Like nothing special happened outside of what you saw on the NASDAQ for Google. It glided to the upside. It's percentage-wise more, but it turned when the market turned. It stair-stepped when the market stair-stepped, and I'm talking about the NASDAQ in particular. And if we're going to be rolling over from here, it has, to me, it's not even if it sells here, that's not sell the news like I was anticipating. That would just be it's following the overall market, in my opinion. Like Meta and Apple sold off. Like if this were to fall from here, this would just be a pullback that the market is experiencing. Brendan mentioned AMD just very quickly. I want to get to that because it is making a bit of a bid off 122. We talked about this in lunch money. If it could get to 103, great, but it did not actually break that top, so we grabbed the short here. Do not want this bad boy getting all the way back into the high of the day. We just bounced off 14.8 on the NASDAQ. So the NASDAQ still wants to hold 14.8. going back over to Google, if we hold on to 14.8, it would seem like your long would be almost nowish. Like this 134.5, previous high yesterday, and a bit of a wick support here. Like if you can hold this level and we bounce off 14.8, then you can have a long once again. Now what are you doing, Randy? Oh, so
Thank you.
So now the market's going to tank? Now the market's going to tank, huh?
I told Randy at 8:45 when he came here with coffee, what was he doing? Turning those guys into bears. And now the market is like on its bottom.
Actually, I actually said I was going to turn this if we got to if we hold 14.8. We did.
This is, anybody who has an iPhone knows, like, see, you get this different language now. I signed up, finally, Sharif, I signed up for the beta. So now I'm waiting for it. See, now it's just telling me to, log in and do all these funky things right now. So we'll do that. We'll fight. I don't want to log in while I'm here because when you log in for the first time, it shows you like all the new cool things, right? And so, so I'll figure. Is anything good on the new iOS? Okay, we'll figure it all out. Anyways, all the rage today for Google, and I mean, I think that's great. We had Meta Connect, and then we had Worldwide Developer Conference, which I think they called something else there, Apple. Apple's had a couple of these, man. They had the Vision Pro one. Yep. Meta did all that. And apparently people are saying that the stickers on the Meta, with whatever their platform is, their AI is supposed to be pretty funny. So I might want to check that out. I don't know if it's been rolled out worldwide yet, but pretty interesting stuff happening right there. All right, so just because we're talking phones and all that, the only trade that I have on today is Apple in this space. I don't have on any Google. We went short early. We talked about this. Remember, we were short. So again, we didn't take any slack or anything like that. Well, we did a little bit, but about taking early trades, remember? So yeah, early we were wrong for sure there in Apple. We were able to reshort and get out of something there, reshort again and get out, but then eventually we took out 173, and then we got out of that like no problem. That was a 172.85, out 173. Then we went long when it came back into VWAP and took some money back there. That's what we have right now, right? 172.35s. Out there 173s, again, that same level, 173. And then we made these highs of 173.25, and we're still holding on for dear life right now back at VWAP. I do not want to average back into this one as we are starting to head lower. So for me, for Apple, probably a done trade right now. Just waiting to see if this gets stopped out eventually for flat or so. We've done really well holding on to an Amazon short here. We got rolled over early. Then we waited for 127, like finally we got 90s back in, and we're taking some damage on that one right now back down. So yeah, a little bit of nothing here on Google, but if we're gonna do like a little bit of Neil's segment here and do some lunch money, it's bouncing right now off 134.20. I don't know if it's bouncing or not, actually, I shouldn't say that. This is the first time since the event right here, right? This is 10:30. The first time that we've been back to VWAP. So, if you want to look at a test right there, that could be something. So I don't really want to sit necessarily in front of VWAP. Let's just see what it does around VWAP. So that's what we're going to hold out for right here. But I think if you want to buy Google, you do have some good outs at 134. So, worth 30 cents here. The market's pointing to the downside. And now that Randy's turned this guy the other way, probably, like Neil said, maybe it's a bullish sign. So let's just...
Bearish sign.
Oh, yeah, he put the both into bears.
No,
Oh, you switched one of them.
Well, the problem was I said if we held above 14.8 in the morning, I would switch this to a bull.
I'm still bullish.
And then when that happened, I didn't actually switch it to a bull. But if you guys remember, if the market's off the highs and I change my bear into a bull, usually the market turns downside. Obviously, you can see my positions. Like I'm not really thinking we're necessarily.
Oh, Palantir, is that on the board there? Oh yeah,
it is. It's down there. We'll get.
We got a good trade on Palantir.
Let's go back to the desk and get through this rundown.
Yeah, let's talk Apple. You guys were mentioning the software update. Got pushed out at lunchtime or around lunchtime this afternoon, 12:45, I think it was. Back to flat here anyways for Apple, but apparently, we'll see what the result is. Apparently, this has solved the overheating issue, which has been a big one for them.
Yeah, we'll have to see how that goes. But today, the major news for Apple was the downgrade from KeyBank. Brandon Nispel, the analyst there, saying, in our view, user growth is still more important than unit growth because we know there's been a lot of demand for the 15th. He goes on to say, we believe this could be a losing argument given the lack of catalyst, but which we believe results will be a neutral risk to reward. So they're not liking the fact that there isn't as much North American demand as they wanted. we'll see if the world demand can pick up the slack for that.
I mean, we're still lagging, I should say, the overall NASDAQ here, guys, for Apple, but back to positive at least.
It's one of those where it worked this morning, but it wasn't optimal. Like it got into a resistance level.
Does that mean suboptimal?
Yeah, it was not sublingual,
Oh,
but
not
suboptimal.
sublingual. Okay, suboptimal.
Sublingual is different, but suboptimal
Very much different.
is what this was. Unfortunately,
Sublingual.
it got into a resistance level, it just never followed through. So I was shorting the pops into 172.5, getting out into 172. Eventually, you can see like higher lows and then a stop out, and then I didn't really flip it. So it is what it is. It would have been better. Like the difference, you play inside of the range, and if it breaks your way, you get to hold on to some, and then it goes higher. So if you're playing the same range long, you got the benefit of holding on to some of your dip, and then you get an extra $1 out of it. If you're playing it short, your last little bit you take an L on, right? So like you might be getting the same while it's inside the range, but when it breaks out, if you're right, you have a chance to, add an extra 50% or double your money as it goes to the upside. So it's obviously a strong day early on. Apple, with the market up 1%, with the NASDAQ up 0.7%, getting ahead of myself, is basically flat with the ES. So the ES is flat, the NASDAQ's up, Apple is flat. I'm not saying it could break down here, but you're actually holding underneath VWAP. So if we do have a pullback in the NASDAQ, this could get dragged back underneath. I don't know if I like the short, though. 73s obviously looks a lot better for the short. Let's see what happens when this one breaks VWAP. Might not have a trade for Apple for myself this afternoon.
It was bugging me too much, so I actually went ahead and did it. So now I got to figure out what all these things are here. Well, because I keep getting all these updates all the time of like sporting, like right there. There's a FanDuel Super Boost or whatever. I don't know. I don't want to bet the Jays today. I think the Jays.
Yes, you do.
No, but they lost yesterday.
So?
No, because, if they win today, I think we have such a huge advantage in Game 3.
Bassett.
Right. So why bother to put if they win today, there's a Game 3.
Did you say if?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
If.
When they win today.
When? What about when they won yesterday?
Yesterday is yesterday. Today is today.
Today is today, and
Today
I'm hoping that they can win.
Barrios, baby. Let's go.
I just feel like
let's go.
Bassett is such a big. I don't even know who their third arm is, but I feel like Bassett is.
I don't even know who's starting the third game for Minnesota either.
Exactly.
They actually have a better pitcher. They have Sonny Gray going today.
I know that's.
Remember I was telling you yesterday, Sonny Gray. I thought was a matchup problem for the Jays. It's a problem.
Yeah, apparently any pitcher with I guess you don't even need two arms. Shout out to Jim Abbott, but any pitcher that's capable of throwing the ball is a problem for the Blue Jays. Okay. Yes, it is true.
That's unnecessary.
Oh, it's unnecessary, but come on, man. I mean, we cannot, as a fan, you cannot be pleased with the Blue Jays' last 2 weeks.
It's pissed off.
I think we scored like 3 runs, honestly.
Yeah, I'm pissed off. I'm not.
Okay, well there you go. So
yeah,
I'm just trying to be real. Okay, so Apple. All right, so we were just shorting Apple pretty much all morning, and then we went long, and then I told you we were just going to get out for flat right there on our last 10%, so that's exactly what we did. Looking like we probably should have held it. I just don't. We're short. Yes, thank you. There he is, Randy. Did you see Tesla today, by the way? A TSLA. Me and Randy were talking about BYD. You have some interesting things there.
Yeah.
If you go home too early, but if you're ever staying late, you can come on the recap show and we'll do all that. Or you can just sit on the desk over it. Oh yeah, you did that one time. Yeah, Tesla up 5% today. So
Exxon do it.
we were ExxonMobil. Oh my God.
no, you haven't seen oil today.
No, it's down. It's down about 6% or so.
Look at his eyes light
Down
up.
4%. Why? You got to fill it up.
You like?
Well, you got to fill up the Cayenne over there.
You got puts or something?
No, he's all about EVs.
Oh, he's trying to dip buy. No, but like the way that Randy's face lit up, you're like, do you have puts on this? Like, why would you be that excited? Because you were looking for a dip buy, you want it to go down. That's all.
Yeah, if you're BTFD, there's a couple of BTFD opportunities right now in all of this.
This will get elbowed if you leave.
I got to get rid of it there. Randy asked if we needed it or I needed a coffee. I just said, sure, Randy, why not? Right there, because I actually just got one too. But okay, let's get rid of that. What else do you want to talk about? Okay, so XOM actually, I know we're on Apple now. We've already just talked about that a little bit. XOM is on. So first of all, XOM has a monster buyback. They have a great dividend. It is one of the best yielding names around, and you're at the 50-period moving average. Randy, I'm going to stamp a buy for you and fire off the hot dog cannons here, Randy, because I feel like if you wanted to step into something, it would be about now. So I wish I had as much money as Randy, and I'll just buy all the stocks in the world. right there. I'm still waiting for him to sell me that Ocean reservation that he has, the Fisker Ocean, because you can't get them now. You have to. Actually, I got an update on my phone from Fisker the other day, because I downloaded the app and you can.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can specialize. You can figure out whatever car you want, and then once you get to the end, it tells you there's like an 8-month waiting period or something like that on those. So
Fisker didn't participate in the EV rally today. I'm just gonna throw that one out there.
Afternoon coffee.
Like you saw Tesla, you saw Rivian today. Nope, Fisker. Like really, Fisker, ye of the short interest when everything was ripping this morning, you couldn't make the breakout. Like this would have been the saving grace of missing out on some of the long opportunities. If Fisker could have just taken out the top and squoze to the upside. It was set up perfectly. Look at the flat top break on Fisker. Everything was running. It was perfectly set up today. You saw Rivian blasting. I look over at Fisker. I'm like, yeah, we're going to have this for lunch money long. And I pull up the chart. I'm like, no, we're not, because it sucks. Well, you stink, Fisker. Where's the bounce?
Yeah, Fisker.
Actually, there was a huge volume bounce at 1 o'clock on this stock for some reason. I don't know what the heck.
New trade idea.
I don't know what the heck that was.
Apple short up to 173. So if we get up here at the 200 period, let's just short it. It's in this little bit of a range. It just dips down into VWAP. Let's see if we can't go up and down on this one here. So new trade idea, putting an offer right now on Apple at 90.
All right, let's talk Tesla. Speaking of, pretty impressive day to the upside, about to take out or test anyways. Day highs. This was the Elon anyways, thinks this rear wheel drive Model Y is winter ready, quote unquote, winter ready, which I still can't wrap my head around, but we'll take his word for it. You found this pricing information. I'll let you show that. But
very interesting here, Brent.
I mean, it's not bad.
No, it's not bad at all. Especially if you're looking for a Model Y after the $7,500 tax credit. We're talking about American here, not Canadian. It comes to $32,890. That is not bad for a 250-mile range. Well, you know what? If I was in the market for one and I lived in America, this would definitely be on top of my list.
Guys.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to comment on the notion of that.
I mean, we don't even have
Canadian winters. That I don't know if that's going to be the greatest idea, but he says it. I don't know if you want to believe it or not. I'd wait till
we have zero incentives. I think right now. I think it's honestly. Yeah, but on a certain price, it has to be under 50,000.
It's under 50,000, you get $5,000.
What a joke!
They got to step those up. Then we all get in there.
I like. I mean, I think that's the thing about what Tesla's doing, right? Is that they are properly pricing all of their cars. And I mean, what they're doing is basically squeezing out every other competitor, because exactly what Sharif just said, if you're in the market for something and you're going to test drive a Tesla and you like the company, you believe in it, you probably made a shit ton, lots of money on the stock. A lot of people do that actually, right? They made the money on the stock and they go, I'm going to buy the car now. Like that's part of it. And then now with Tesla too, there's superchargers, right? Honda just came on board. There's a bunch, pretty much almost all, I don't want to say almost all, but there, I think there's 9 or 10 now companies that have signed up for the same superchargers. So I like Tesla. We talked about that. I say that, and the only thing I had today was short. So we went short on Tesla, got out. You guys all saw that. Then right when we went off the air at about 11 o'clock, you had about a $2 move straight to the upside. So we were down here. This is our short here at 55 or 55.50. Then we got out at 56, but it was down here at 53.50, so it was about 250 or so in the money. We did take some decent parts out before getting onto the last 20 or 25%, and since then we really haven't been back in it. I think you want to play off 260, so now that you're kind of in there, that's probably something reasonable. Obviously, a pullback to VWAP would be fantastic, and it really has respected the 200 period as well. We did have an over-under around 256, so that could be a little spicy down there as well, but for right now, Tesla just continues to work to the upside. We have been in Rivian, and we made money on Rivian today. So let me find out what we did. I think it was real quick. Yeah, so again, the same thing. Short, we're up on Rivian as I look at it, which is why we say that. Nice move down again, shorting off 2280 or so. Play that huge move up, play the retracement, but when you're playing a retracement, you got to get out if you return to VWAP. We did that. Then we took out the level, upsides for Rivian ever since. So I don't know, man. I feel like a lot of these names right now, especially in this market, we're kind of in the middle. So let's just play it safe and hold on, wait for some big outsized moves.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't trade Tesla today, but I did trade Rivian off of 2 levels. The good news is I only shorted 2 different levels. The bad news, I shorted them multiple times. So first time in, this is first level, first resistance on Rivian. That was about 22.5. 2260 was the actual local high. And then the pre-market flop level from yesterday when it broke down at 23, which if it was magical yesterday. It's like lose, lose, win, lose. So at that point, you're sitting 1 for 4. Then it worked off of 23.30 up here. I never completely got out of that trade and then got back in off the same high. It still can't even get to VWAP. Like it's pulling back, it's getting to 23, and then it's not even getting to VWAP. It's holding 22.9, so that's a pretty strong stock at that level. I said you go back and forth. If you look at that 23, it's also the 50 period on the daily. A close above this, that's a heck of a bullish move. If you're going to sustain these pullbacks and then just jump right back to the 50 period, it'll be higher lows when it looks like it's Huadong. It looks like it's going to fall apart, puts in a higher low. Fail breakout, looks like it's about to fall apart and is attempting to put in a higher low. If this resolves back above the 50 period, that was one heck of a bear trap potentially on Rivian. For now, the short's working, but as I said, it'll be a battle to get. It'll be a battle to get back to flat because I'll end up swinging like 2 for 6 on it, which is okay. Like look, man, if Vladdy goes 2 for 6 today, if the Jays hit 3, get a hit out of every 3 times they come to bat, we're going to destroy them. But this ain't baseball, man. Like you want it in trading, if you can shoot 50%, then you're actually looking pretty good if you're doing good risk to reward. But it gets tricky when you're underneath that. So Rivian fought it today, found some good levels. Just execution could be a bit better. And I mean it when I say this Fisker is a huge disappointment. Because this one, I really think, and I'm not talking necessarily about their vehicle or anything like that. It's just from a standpoint of the short float that they have and where this is geared up to go. Like you are putting in higher lows into a flat top at 7. Sharif was talking about this to Dara in the midday. Like when do you really like a flat bottom or flat top break? When you are trending into that level, when it's the same resistance level with higher level support each time trending into it. And then you throw up I want to say 40% short float on Fisker. Double check. 43% short float, checking my trade ideas. This one blows out the top. Been waiting for this to do that for half a year now. It still can't go. But one of these days, maybe Fisker breaks that top.
All right, Intel, on the other hand, we were talking Tesla, how strong it was today. Intel, not so much. Right back down after that story. They're going to spin off this programmable chip unit that came out after the close yesterday. There was also a pretty impressive performance yesterday, but here we are, right back where it closed, actually.
Yeah, this PSG unit, Programmable Solutions Group, they make a chip called the Field Programmable Gate Arrays, FPGAs. Essentially what these chips are, they're more flexible than your regular or run-of-the-mill computer CPUs. They respond faster, they're more power efficient, and you can program them actually after you've shipped them. They acquired these FPGA companies from a company called Agilix back in 2015 for about $17 billion, and now they're looking to spin it off. Let's see what the market cap is when they do in about 2 to 3 years.
Pretty choppy day overall as far as chip makers are concerned, guys. But yeah, right back down here for Intel.
No, I was going to say, I just have a new position. What do you want to hit?
No, we'll wait till
it's the
Intel.
Qs, by the way. Okay, it's showing up there. I like how we fixed the QQQ there at the bottom.
Shout out to Mark.
Because Apple is not getting up to where it needs to go, I'm just going to short the NASDAQ. So that was my logic right there. It's the 200 period, you see sloping up, starting to turn over. Feel like the NASDAQ could, okay, here we go. Feel like the NASDAQ could slip up a little bit right now. We were short 94s. I put the wrong stop in, got me out, got back in. So here we go. Nice little trade right now. Hopefully this will continue here on some nice little downside moves on the NASDAQ into the 50s. Let's take a bid. Boom, right there. That's about as clean 40 cents right there on the Qs as you're going to get. That was, if I had shorted the market instead of the Qs, this would be a 30 handle winner in about 2 seconds. So there it is, nice pullback down. Almost, Amazon, guys, is almost in the dollar club right now, as that just, oh wow, shit, wow. The names, these names are really moving down here. Was there something that just hit or something like that? Because
We
honestly,
rejected technically the lower high.
this is a flush city. Look at this Amazon trade. Let's go. Props it up for anybody that's net short with your boy right now. Wow, the Qs, guys, like forget about this paper trading and all this kind of stuff. This is like a real position here to the downside. So let's see if the Qs can keep on going, man. 80 cents, 90 cents in the money, and we just put it on. But let's go talk about Intel.
Oh, we already did.
Oh, we did?
No, sorry, no. Did you guys already do the intro for Intel?
No, I mean, but you were going to say something.
No, I was gonna hit this for Intel today. That's what I was gonna. I didn't want to do it while you were talking because I wanted to reserve the fail for Intel.
Right, yeah.
Because Intel had good news. I mean, Sharif already went over this. I don't want to go with the nuts and bolts. It feels like when Sharif's on the desk, like he'll give you everything you need to know about why it's moving, and there's no need to do anything but get into the trade. I looked for the dip buy and showed incredible impatience with it today. So in early at 36 and adding in front of this local bottom and then stopping out. Eventually got this long here when it wicked the bottom. I was able to get the long 35.60. That halted there at about 35.90, so about 30 cents, and that was it. Reloaded that same trade and lost, and then did not go back to the well. The crazy thing about it is the best longs are the ones where it's wiped everybody out. So when it's like, this is where it's broken backs. If you're looking for the dip buy, it's breaking backs here, and it's trying to go for this low, and it takes it out twice. And then when it holds it, I don't know where you can find the long. Maybe you're not even in it till 35.5, but that's the best one. Like when everybody's given up, right? Or not everybody. When most of the people that were buying the dips in the morning have given up, that's generally speaking going to be your best long. And I had given up, and it's my worst stock today because I liked it more here instead of here or here, and that's a simple answer. Like the first time, and then the time that it wiped everyone out. I didn't go for it that last bounce, and I should have taken it. But it is what it is at this point. Just quickly going from one chip name to another. Bit of a roll back there in the market, obviously. AMD just pulled 102.20 down into almost VWAP. I think if we get to VWAP and we're holding 14.8 on the NASDAQ, which bounced again, by the way, I'm taking it out. Upward trend. If 14.8 just continues to hold and hold, should be covering this in front of VWAP. Because in an upward trend, a lot of times you'll see VWAP start to hold. That's exactly what's happening. Didn't really deal with any other chip names. Actually didn't even look at NVIDIA much today. Should have looked at NVIDIA today. I have one line drawn for NVIDIA. Well, thanks a lot, Intel. 433. Like I had one support line drawn, and as if it bounced right off that line. Looked at the wrong stock today, but it had the catalyst. I don't think we looked at the wrong stock today. I just executed it poorly. It's wrong to say looking at Intel was incorrect. There was a good catalyst. It was a great mover yesterday. Just didn't have it right today. It's going to happen. Why did you come back to me?
Okay, so we had Intel long today as well. I just want to talk about the mistake that was going in before he went out. But let's just go back to the desk. Okay, we'll talk about it quickly. We went long quickly down there at 35.40. Once it finally stopped, brought it all the way back to VWAP, made some money back. But it was this early dip right there, average in. That was the problem. We since shorted it, got out a little bit, but really haven't done anything since Intel back over to the desk.
All right. Let's talk about Palantir. A couple things from this morning worth noting here if you missed it. Bloomberg comes out early on reporting this, that they are close on this deal for a UK health data contract, which is gigantic, 400 plus million on that, or potentially for them. PricewaterhouseCoopers re-upping on a data-driven AI collab with PLTR as well.
Now they're not getting government contracts on this side of the pond. They're going to the other side of the pond. So efficient are they at acquiring government contracts? Yeah, it's a good look, Brendo. 480 million pounds, and with a possible 2-year renewal. We'll have to keep an eye and see how they do. Up 4 1/3 today. It's been a good few days for Palantir.
It was actually the Bloomberg note. I went back and checked the aftermarket yesterday. It was actually the Bloomberg note that caused that initial move, and then we just kind of ground to the upside all the way into this morning, guys. So a nice look here.
4.5% in case they trailed off there and you didn't hear what Brendan said, but you're going to see it on the chart anyways. I had one trade on Palantir, and it didn't last. It was a breakout trade, which either resolves itself pretty quickly or it doesn't. If it doesn't resolve itself quickly, then it's trending to the upside. But it was simply this level, 1565, and that's where it fell yesterday. So when it took out the top, bought multiple times in, it got up to 75.80. So it looked like it was absolute runner, and then it stopped back out in front of the pre-market low. So I was in at an average of 65. I got one fill out there at 77, and then stopped out at about 50. I then walked away from the stock. It obviously made a nice little bottom in there, but that was it for me, like one breakout that didn't go. I'll get into a couple of things we didn't get to talk about there, but we're done the rundown, so we'll talk about them after.
Yeah, Palantir, the number one name P&L-wise here. You know, we just bought it off VWAP, and we just made one trade. Well, we made it twice, but it's the same trade. So we bought it there at 51. We bought it again at 50. And then if we zoom back, or I guess it was 50. One was 51. Well, yeah, 50, 51. So upside, right, got some out at 60s, brought it back down. Our out was always going to be here, 44, 45. So that's why we start to take those 10 plus cents on that. Here's the nice move right back to the upside there. So we got some out at 70s. You know, this is why it's it is the top stock, is just because, again, averaging into it and then taking it out at, it's not the high of the day, but, you know, up there. It just has recently fallen back. We still have a piece on. I am waiting. I thought I was waiting at 60. Oh, I'm waiting at 59 right now, so hopefully we'll get that fill, and then I'm going to cancel my 65 because if we can break 59, then I think we can get back up here into the 70s. So a nice little trade happening there right now. And this is why it's very, very important when you see a move down like this to get out at least something, because like that kind of a flush down, and you're going to see it. We're going to talk about the Qs as well, because it's all the way back up now. That's why you take out, you know, the position when it comes down like that, because, you know, any kind of a quick move, if it continues, great. You'll never feel bad taking something out at these lows. So you do that, and then you hope to make a little bit of a better trade here on the way back up. So now let's see if we can retrace back down, but let's go over to Brendan, take care of some business.
5.5% oil, guys, just closing here at 2:30 Eastern anyways. 5.5%, basically at session lows. So pretty ugly across the board for energy today on those Russian comments early on. Yeah, the rundown brought to you by, as always, our friends over at Trade Ideas. See what's moving in the moment. Check out their new web app version, as we've been highlighting. They even have this, I noticed today, they even have this with the latest update, two-toned, two time frame, the insert. If you click on that, it pops into the other one. So a great look as far as the web app is concerned, all the financial information for you, the news as well. Check out TraderTV.20 for a 20%, that's actually 30 right now, discount. Shout out to Trade Ideas.
Yeah, so quickly there, you'll see the market bounce back into the upside. I was actually pointing out a second ago, like that wick down, got to VWAP. I'm out of AMD. My first target entry was this consolidation when it broke down. That's where my out is. My trail out. And it's not really a trailing stop. I just set a stop order at that hump, and I'm going to be out of the stock. If I try the short again, then it should be at the high of the day. But really, as I was saying like a couple minutes ago, like that's actually a bit of a long off VWAP when you look at it. So I don't know if I like that reshort.
Go!
I am in Novavax from that $7 bounce. I had it up here, 7.15 to VWAP, reloaded it in front of 7. If it gets to VWAP again, great, we'll take it out. That was a fail break at 8, and we look for the higher low off 7. You can see it barcoding. And then the one from this morning, it's just like yesterday, hang on to a firm. It just, like yesterday it was 20 to 19, they shorted 19 to 18. Today, it got to almost to 19, shorted 18.60, got all the way down to the 18 area, reloaded 18. It's now at 17.5. So a firm has been, no matter how strong the market is today, a firm still stinks. And it's another red day. This feels like it's headed for the for the 200 period moving average at $15. Sometimes these gaps like to fill in, and a firm is doing a perfect example. All of the levels on the way up, it's like when it fails this one, it goes right down and bounces off 20. That's 23 to 20. When it fails 20, it just feels like we're headed down to $15 on a firm. So it's a short till it's not, and it's not. Like, it might still be at 15, but it's a short till it gets to 15 is what I'm thinking. Every single morning when I sit down, where is the entry for this name and how are we going to get into it? Rivian's also bouncing a little bit here. I don't know if I want to, you know what, I might like the reload. All right, I'm going to go for the reload on Rivian. I like this lower high. Again, the difference with Rivian is we're sitting on a major level on the daily chart. You're not floating in the middle of nowhere. You're trying to bounce back above the 50 period. So I like playing it as long as I have resistance on the futures and a bit of a curl here. But this level, speaks for itself. It gets above the high of the day, you know not to fight it.
I'm just editing this because we've got on another one. 359.20. I just got to edit this. Yeah, we still have. Anyways, while Neil was talking there and when we were just going over a few different things there, we just reshorted the Qs again. And I was saying to you, you want to call Warren Buffett Comp SRX1? Yeah, we had to talk to him about the home builders. That's been pretty disastrous. Let's talk to him about his Oxy position, his XOM position, his CVX position and all that. Yeah, we could definitely talk to Warren about all that. But look what just happened to the NASDAQ, man. So we have half on right now as once again the flush blackout. Let's go. Nice little continuation here. Oh, man, we keep on saying we should switch over to the futures and trade those. But we're doing it, man. We're on the Qs, right? So here's a nice little move to the downside, a quick 50 cents already on that. I just got to get used to the moves. You know, how far can we go? You know, should I be taking out 20 cents? Should we take out 5 cents, 10 cents? Obviously, these are all rhetorical questions because the market is a thing, and we got to trade what we see. That VWAP right there is 35s. So let's just put a bid down there like 40s. Maybe we can get that. Hopefully we will. The best part about trading the Qs is, of course, the liquidity. So there will be very small slippage right here, I feel like. Again, I haven't been obviously involved in these Qs in a long time. So let's just play them the way they lie right now. Pretty easy to get in. Like I said, Palantir is going to be the #1 stock. If I just flatten this out right now, this becomes #2. So it's a good trade there. Amazon is still $1 breaking lower right now. Amazon did retrace back up, but we're trying to, do those plays that, we can sit in for a little bit. We just took another piece out, by the way. It's not going to, these moves down, that's the 50-period moving average. So you're going to say like, okay, well, why don't you hold for more? Like maybe this is going to break. And if it does break, that's fantastic, right? But again, like we're trading on a prop floor. So, instead of taking hundreds of shares, you could take thousands of shares. You could take, you're in charge of whatever you want. All of us don't trade the same. And I've told you that before many times. So, trade your book. Trade what you see, and right now we shorted the Qs, and the reason why was just simple, man. You've already been up here a couple times, right? So we've already been here. We dumped down once we missed out on this 358.40 area. It went down about $1, made its way back, but then on its way back, it just sort of loved this 200-period moving average. So we're just playing off that. We took the short there. That just instantly went into money fast for us. We only took out half there, didn't realize sort of the velocity of that move and how fast that went to the downside. So we're trying not to make the same mistake now, and this time sit here and see if we can get something in the 40s if it flushes down. And then that's at O's. So now, again, like, I guess it's possible. Like, I don't, like I said, I'm just going to put this here, 05 maybe, put a bid down just in case it flushes one more time. I didn't think that was going to be that possible to move that quickly. But hey, if it's going to move that quickly one way, look how fast it came right back up to the upside again. So that was a pretty good one there. Palantir, we did what we said we would do. We got the fill when we were talking about it. It's just seconds ago, 2 pennies ago, we got 59. But like I said, that was a pretty good take to the upside. One stock that I want to talk about that's kind of this DraftKings. So this is a name that we've done well on in the past. Not here. I thought see this move down. I thought we started the short here thinking that we were going to break lower. But unfortunately, I didn't even notice I was a double top there. We bottomed out right there early at 10 o'clock. Then we just bottomed out again. So we got the short. We got the short again before getting stopped out. But, the damage wasn't that heavy there.
AMC's running. It's at last week's high.
AMC? Okay, we'll look at AMC. But right there, 28.60. Thinking about looking at a short if that does come in. Let's go over to AMC.
So AMC, I don't know why it just made a technical break, but AMC just got off this $8 level in a hurry right into Monday's top of $8.40. I remember $8.40. That was a bit of a brick wall. So I know everyone likes the stock to go up, but I don't actually see news on this. And as long as that's the case, I'm going to take a shot at this for a reversion off of the $8.40 level. If I don't see anything, I check for news. Brendan hasn't seen any reason. It could just be a bit of a technical break. I like the fact that it got to 839 with an 840 high from Monday. So when you zoom out, if I see a liquidity move in one direction or the other, and I can't think of a reason, or not think I can't find a reason, then I'm going to look for that play in here. It's about 7 cents worth of risk. So if we can get even back down into 25, it'd be good. But I'm stopping out right above 840. Not going to fight this. And if I hear news, if I'm already out, fine. If I'm not out and it's legitimate, I might consider punching out. But AMC, big volume spike. Usually I think there's news when it does this, but it could just be a hold of 8 and a technical breakout. And if it's that, I'm going to play that old mean reversion at least for now. Still holding on to a couple of names from earlier. We talked about those. I'm on the offer and NVAX in front of VWAP just in case that does make a big push through the upside. And look at why we got out of the way of AMD. Got out of the way of AMD and look at that sucker fly. AMD. Got out of the way of AMD, and now AMD is breaking the high of the day. Now it's up. What's hilarious is, maybe it's not hilarious, but Brendan at the beginning of the show, and it was probably just a slip of the tongue. We do it all the time. It was like 1.8% up, and I think he said 2.8. Now AMD is going to be up 2.8%. So apparently that's crazy. Randy's asked me what American Airlines is doing. I was going to say something about it. Oh, yeah. I like the long now in AMD above.
At least Randy's not that, not that random.
I know. American Airlines, when we're talking about AMD, I like the long now in AMD if we hold 14.8. This is too strong of a trend. Why American Airlines? Okay. Really? I thought
same reason why oil, the same reason why all this stuff.
But oil's moving today, so I understand that. Like, that makes sense to me.
Oh, Randy.
And I know he asked about Tesla and everything because he likes EVs, but why?
Up 3%, that's why he's liking that.
Daily chart doesn't look great on, what do you think about the daily chart? Triple bottom. Why, you bought this today?
No, looking at it.
He likes the airlines.
It's still on me. I'm thinking out loud here. It's a quadruple bottom on AAL. I actually
Randy is quite the savant.
I don't like the airlines as an investment personally. I just think they're like utilities. That's what they should be because their business, they just keep going under and then consolidation and bankruptcies over and over again. It's like it just keeps repeating itself. It's not great for investors. But look at this bottom at around $12. I mean, come on. That's not, this is your first green day. This thing breaks out 13. Throw a stop underneath 12 at like 1190. And if it gets to the 50 period, 200 period, you're happy. That's 2-1. That ain't bad. A Randy special for you. Last time he called a long on Faraday Future that actually ended up working as a swing trade. And that stock was just nasty to the downside. Most of the time it is, but he called a pretty good long on the other day. So into AMC, that was the new position. Still not doing anything. It's kind of holding these highs. It did double top there at 839. 840 and above is my out.
Looking for a little bit of the Qs might not hold. We're waiting for 30s to get out. No, stop. Yeah, so about trading the futures. I hate trading the futures. There it goes right up to the upside right now. It looks like we are going to get stopped out. Yeah, there it goes. Ooh, almost stopped out there through 30 there on the futures as they've retraced all the way back up. I'm kind of just shorting. This is more like a revenge trade because we saw how far it can go down, but at the same time, it's going up pretty quickly here as well. And there's really no levels here. We've already talked about this 200 period. We're just right here right now. So there it goes. So a little bit of a break. Okay, there it is. I was going to say break higher there. That's about an 8. What were we short? 19s there. So 12-cent hit to end the trade there on the Qs. But again, we tried it. It worked out. So small hit. I think that's the way we should do that. Now we're kind of out of the way as the market just continues to blast up. Good sign is we still have Palantir, which is still 11 cents in the money, and we still have some love here on Amazon. But now that we've started to break higher, I think you just honestly
AMD broke the high without the futures breaking.
Yeah,
like, I should have reversed.
Now you're in the afternoon now, and if the market wants to break through, these levels, we've already held 14.8. I mean, look. Excuse me, it just held 14.8 like amazingly there, by the way. Like 14.1 just came in there. They held, I mean, that was that move down that we talked about with the Qs. And it just held the 14.8 before, So now you got to wait for 14.9. Like you are in the middle now. I mean, I guess you could play off that wick right there, but I don't know. I feel like you want to get long. You don't want to get short right here. So I'll wait until something pulls back. Intel maybe. No, Intel. Oh, no. Intel's at a level now of $36, where this is a possible short because, see, this is why I said, oh, no. The high is 36.02 right here, right now. So you could take it against this level. Do we want to do that?
Oh,
What's Intel up today? Intel's not up as much as the market, obviously.
Micron's the weak one.
Yeah.
Micron's still red on the day.
I'll short Intel. Okay, we're short Intel right now. We're short at 89s. We're just going to give it to here. Like I said, we're in the afternoon. We're not even in the power hour yet. Maybe we just kind of cruised up a little bit. To get back to VWAP is 1-to-1 right now, right? That's at 80s. So that's 1-to-1. I think that's pretty reasonable. I'd hate to see us break through that 05 area, but let's average this in if we get closer to 35. So right now, we'll hold on to this short, new position, Intel short.
I'm just looking, I was looking across the board for something that was relatively weak. You mentioned Intel, and I just came across Micron here. 68 top, lower high, potentially failing VWAP as the market is at almost the high of the day. On the 15-minute, rejection of the top, lower high. This just looks a little more bearish. Obviously, support at 67. Anybody can see that on the chart, but you're at 67.75. So the short off 68 here, that makes some sense to me. Relatively weak name as well. So maybe some money fills above VWAP, giving it in and around to that 68 level. And if it fails VWAP, all the better. Then you just short that. But I'm thinking putting a trade on AMC doesn't really count for shorting the market because AMC doesn't really care. But certainly Micron here, that can matter. Relative weakness has been the way to go. I'm going to wet the beak here and then see if we can't get this one to the downside. I see, is it Ripon Ronpan? Ripon
Ronpan.
In the chat just said Netflix is weak.
Oh, I saw that too, yeah.
Yeah, that is. It really is. Where are we at the, let me just double check. Oh, I know why I've been shorting This is why I've been shorting Netflix. Because on the daily chart, like look what Netflix is doing off the 200 period. So I'm not really a fan of shorting it right in front of this big 370 on the 200 period. So when you're down here, I look at that daily and say, ooh, don't want to short the bottom. I knew there was a reason why. And every time I look at that chart, I'm like, Netflix is looking weak. Why don't I want to short it? Zooms out, looks at daily, not till it breaks 370. If this breaks the 200 period moving average, I think it's got some floodgates underneath that can set up. But until then, you know what? It doesn't mean that you can't scalp trade it or whatnot, but I don't know. I don't like that look because it's been barcoding off that level just like it's coiling up. And it's tricking you, and then if it ends up breaking away from that, it could really just go $10, $20, $30 in a heartbeat. I just grabbed Micron in here, said that's a little bit more weak or relatively weaker, I suppose is a correct way to say it. AMC kind of rolling over, not really.
AMC?
I don't know. It's holding a little bit, so I'm going to get a bid in the mid-20s, throw something down here in the teens as well. Pull back all the way. It broke out from 810, so if it gets to 810, I'm out. Just the way I like to do it. So if it gets to 810, I'm out of the trade altogether. We'll see what happens. But AMC didn't see a reason for that pop to the upside, and as always, when in doubt, zoom out. When in doubt, zoom out can mean pull your chart out, see the last couple of days, look at it for the last couple of weeks. Sometimes you want to pull up that daily chart. In the morning, I'll look at the weekly just to make sure I understand what the trend is on the stock. Or if you're at some crazy, ridiculous level on the weekly, sometimes that can get you in or out of trade idea pretty quick.
All right, so I saw some. So first of all, we're short Intel. We talked about that, but we do have another new position right now, and it's going to be short Amazon. We just added to our position. We already had a nice short up here at 80. I just got a little bit impatient, didn't really want to wait for it. We're at VWAP right now, 65. My out was a break of 60s. I mean, we could adjust that to 63, 64, 65, but I didn't want to give this one as much room as we normally do. So I'm already bidding. Actually, you know what? I'm only bidding 31s. We should bid maybe right here at 40, just to take a piece out. Again, I kind of do this. There it is. I kind of do this all the time. Just take little pieces out and then trying to hold on to at least something for a bigger move. And honestly, a retracement, like what I've been studying is like VWAP down to the 50 period. Like that's a really good move if you can get that. So you're not gonna look that proverbial gift horse in the mouth every time it can come to it. And that's basically what we're doing right here. Yeah, exactly what we're doing with Intel. If I can get a bid here on Intel, we'll take it at 82, and then we'll see if it can float even lower than that. But here's a relatively new, there it is. All right, so here's a relatively new position for us. It's going to be Intel, and it's printing some 80s now, so I like that. We don't have any more bids on Intel, so we'll just put, we'll put another one there at 79, get filled, and then we'll put one down inside a little bit even lower at 76. Meanwhile, our Amazon's trying to work. I do have a bid at 35 right now to see if we can get that fill. But so far, so good here. As the market's there, it is. Yes, sir. Let's go. A couple retracement plays for you all right now as we lost on the Qs on that last move up. I don't know. We can check out where they are right now. But we went back over. Okay, so flat basically. We went back over to equities to have a quick look, and that's what we're seeing right now. Intel 10 cents in the money, Amazon 10 cents in the money, but still not overly ridiculous trades. Let's just piece them out. There it is, right? We said back into, like, what did we just predict? Not predict, but we said where, well, we did predict it, I guess, by going short. But this move down in, right? So there it is right there, 20 pennies. On Amazon, and we just put it in the pocket. So there you go, everybody. It's another chicken dinner winner. But it's not like, maybe it's like wings and stuff. Like if you want to get like that chicken cordon bleu, this is going to have to go a little more than where we're going right now to the downside.
You like chicken cordon bleu?
Not really. I just couldn't think of anything fancy.
Isn't it the most overrated, quote-unquote, fancy dish that exists?
Is it really? I mean,
I think so.
I bet, like, I never had that in Paris, but I bet you if you had it from like a real French cuisine.
Well, that's sort of the thing. It depends on where, I guess.
It's probably legit. So I'm just gonna put some bids out here to get out for lower prices.
Yeah, so I just throwing some bids to get some fills when if the market comes back down. But there's one other thing. I don't want to say when. I don't like speaking in absolutes when talking about the market because everything in trading is probabilities.
Yeah.
Like nothing is 100%. You're just looking for positive expectancies. There's no certainties in life. There's no certainties in the market. But you take a trade because you think it's a positive expectancy. Same way you play a hand. Novavax has I don't know, there's a seller at 14, 15. It's not size on the offer, but when this happens, you respect it. When that happens, you respect it. So if we're going to roll over from here, then it makes sense to take some out. So try to get out in front of this 15. The dip buy should be tighter to $7 anyways if we're going to get the scalp trade. AMC is like a little bit ridiculous. Like it's been slowly pulling back for the last... This is a 3-minute chart, so for the last 10 minutes, it's been slowly pulling back. But it dipped to 1 cent away from my first bid, and is just slowly coming back in here, which is fine because it's not going up parabolically anymore, and the volume's tapering off. But the longer it holds without pulling back, the more the bulls get excited about a move like this. So I'd like it to resolve itself sometime soon. I've got some bids out on Micron, which lower highs have been put in while the market's been kind of pressing into the top. It's red on the day, so I'm shorting it at VWAP, took some fills over. Ideally, maybe tighter to 68 would make some sense, but we'll scalp it in this range if we get a chance to play it. I did want to get to Apple. Apple got close to the high of the day, not quite, but look at that. Like it gets up into where there was a ton of resistance, 173.25, and then immediately rejects it. So you can see above 173, there were sellers on Apple. That's what you saw all throughout lunchtime, and it just showed you again. So Apple might actually be, I don't know if we get there again. Maybe this is just it, and whatever you have short is going to be good.
Ooh.
But if we do get there again, 173 is being rejected on AAPL 2000.
Oh, it's being rejected. Yeah, that was, yeah, that was went all the way to 173.20 there, okay. I was going to say, because I was looking at that Apple level. It's surprising that I didn't take it, actually. It's a good thing we got distracted, I guess, by Amazon, or else I probably would have been in that Apple trade. We just touched down to 16. I had a bid there, did not fill. So it's on the NASDAQ. Generally, I said this before, I'll generally use NASDAQ or the ARCA gateway. I don't really know why. As far as getting rebates and things like that. So if you look at the level 2 screen, anytime you see NSB, that's going to be NASDAQ. And anytime you see ARB, like right there, that's ARCA book. And again, I just used to explain them to the traders that they're just like different stores. So they're just different like gateways, avenues to buy and sell shares. And each one of these stores will give different fee structures. So you need to understand that. It's like you could buy the same pair of shoes at Foot Locker or at Macy's, but they may have different prices. So there it is. There's the 16 right now. So that's a
oh my God.
Nice little 23 cent winner there. So we're just talking about shoes there. So shout out to Jordan, who became the first athlete ever on the Forbes, is it 100? I don't know, but he just hit.
Whichever way. Yeah,
he just hit 3 Bs.
The best one, whichever one that is.
Yeah, whatever it was. It's $3 billion. So Forbes, whatever it is.
Whatever the level.
Maybe it was the billionaire list.
He's rich. Yeah. Anyways,
He's probably the first athlete Like I know Jay-Z and Kanye and all these guys are billions, but he might. Well, that's the story.
Was he the first one? Yeah,
Yes,
probably.
it
Yeah,
is.
I mean, of course he was.
Unless Magic.
Well, Magic is too, but
But
I
I
don't
think-
know who hit. I don't know who hit first. Actually,
No. The story is that Jordan is.
he's definitely the richest. He was the first. Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, that makes sense.
That's
to me.
that's what I saw. I just don't know the list.
Yeah.
Forbes 40. I don't know what Forbes list do they have anyway.
By the way, there was a couple of things. One, we got a super chat that we missed, and it was asking about CRM. I do want to get to that in a second. And there was just a question about NUVL. This was the big runner this morning. You can kind of see, I don't think you've got much of a trade here. If you're in it, great, because this is the whole price. We talk about this all the time. If a stock goes crazy parabolic and it gets a halt price and goes crazy, if it holds that level, that's not a bad entry point. Look at 54, that halts, and it just barcodes off. It never wants to break down. That would be a flat bottom break, but it holds on. It breaks and gets 20 cents and recovers over and over again. So if you have any kind of a reasonable stop, like 50 cents on a $50 stock, that's been good. But buying, I couldn't trade it up here on this light volume because you're now $3 away from that support level. So that doesn't really make sense. But if you're in it, and you're holding on to a piece, you do have a good support level that's been formed as long as you have it out. You should always have it out. And there was a question about Salesforce. It was a super chat about Salesforce and what we think about the levels here. So,
okay.
I mean, just caveat, I own shares of Salesforce in my personal account, so all biases and whatever you're supposed to say in this particular moment. I've been saying from a technical standpoint on this pullback for all major tech names, is like I start thinking about it at these 200 period moving averages. This one feels a little bit heavier going into it. Like you broke to 50, lower highs. You just recently have taken out this $200 level only to reclaim it today. That's good. So you wick underneath 200 to reclaim it almost instantly. A close above would be a fantastic starting point, but I'm more thinking it's not out of the water yet. I want to see this 200 period get tested. It was a wide zone, 190 to 200, when it traded away from this range before, and that's when this started looking really good. So I want to see it test that level to the downside. 1 day isn't necessarily enough for me. It's a good bottom. It's not a huge volume bottom that we saw yesterday at that low. Like you noticed here when it actually took out that 200 level, the volume underneath was nothing crazier than you would have seen on a normal day. So I usually like seeing a bottom like that being made on volume, which wasn't the case. Good start, but I'm not really at the point that this is there yet. And AMC, by the way, broke that high.
Oh, did it? Okay.
Yeah.
Once
I gave it to 840. It looked like it wanted to go. It broke 840. I'm out. I'm not holding past it, any of that stuff. Like, it's not really my style. I'm not going long up here. Congratulations. I don't still see a story on it, though. So it could just be a technical breakout on AMC. And the one I'm waiting for is $9. Like, I look at this post-split, and it needs to break 9 for the home run. Maybe that's the first start today. I said this last time it was at 840. Maybe this is the first start, but it could not resolve lower. I said it got 1 cent away from my first bid, filled my other offer, which is up there at 37, and then it breaks out. I think if you're looking for the stair step, which is probably the way to go, just take the shot at the short at the one level I like, and from there, start thinking long. I prefer dip buys to breakouts. I said it every single day. Dip buy would be back in here off of that 840. Maybe into the 835 area. So let's see what happens. AMC on decent volume without a catalyst, but hey, sometimes this sucker doesn't need one, right?
No, it does not. Okay.
Why should I was meant to do this?
There it goes. Yeah,
That's why we have it.
that's the catalyst
Well, we-
that everybody needs right there. All right, so just quickly there, Intel, like we said, man, I mean, we looked at it, we took it out, and now we only have 1/3 left. And again, you know, we've talked about this, man, pulling back into the 50-period moving average. There it is right there. So for retracement plays, like we're doing right here, it's not like this ran into a level that we wanted to punch long. We were basically going 1-to-1 on it, which is what we did, and that's why we got some out at 80. And then we went back to the downside there and got some more out at 75. So now we only have a third of this play coming through. We do have Chris Brecher coming on the show tonight. He wants to talk all about where to go short in a downtrend. So that should be exciting. So if you're looking to say, okay, a stock is short today, it's on the downside, it's on the downswing, where do we wait? What do we wait for pops? What are we looking at? I'm personally interested very much so to hear what Chris has to say about all of that. So make sure you do join me tonight at 4 o'clock. Okay, so apparently I'm just seeing this now.
You know the stock
Go
stock
ahead,
that
yeah.
you could pull up
Yep.
for that. Well, okay, never mind. I was gonna, if it's day trading, it's different. But Randy randomly brought up AAL. And I
Right.
remember pulling up this daily chart. Like this double topped at 19 and then fell, I don't know how many days out of how many, whatever it is, but 19 to 12, there's not many up days. And then Boeing's another fantastic example of stock is falling like an absolute rock. You can see that when you look at the daily chart, but the question becomes, like, none of these, maybe one or two of these days are so big that you're like, oh, that was probably an easy short day. Most of them are just in the pocket type of sell days. Yet when you add it up, it's just a very clear short pattern. That is not an easy thing to work yourself into.
Right.
It's easy to say, let's short a firm because when it drops once, it drops 10%. But like you little these smaller moves which are consistent and sometimes they're even better to catch up on a daily basis, that's what you want to do. So whatever, like Boeing and AAL, he's going to talk about whatever he wants to talk about. But I thought those two, those are moves I sit there and watch Boeing drop every single day, and I haven't done a damn thing about it except complain about it.
Yep.
I complain about it because I own Boeing shares that I refuse to get out of. And but the trend has been there. If you shorted it every single day, you've been able to find it. Travel, Neil, good move, excellent. Yeah, asking people for advice is a good move. Like if there's a question that you have, it doesn't make sense to you, and there's somebody who has a different perspective on it and has experience, and you want to listen to them because you can always learn something. Like nobody's the smartest person in the world, and nobody can claim they can't learn from somebody else, all that other stuff. You know what I'm getting at here. I'm sure there's a more eloquent way to say it, right? Like we're all in this business to try to get better and try to learn and adhere to your stop. So if we break 68, I'm out of a micron. One note there.
All right, yeah, adhere to your stops. I mean, that's something that you have to, if you're a trader, you have to live by that. And my stop here on Amazon is a break of 60, which we've talked about a couple times now. So a break of 60, we're out. We are short now at 49s. So that's about 11 or 12 cents. Let's see if we get a pullback in here and able to take some profit, hopefully on a downside push.
Look at
right now. Is AMC still going?
No, AMD I meant.
Oh,
I know this is going to be back and forth because I'll probably... If my chart says AMD and I say AMC, you guys know what I mean, but when they're both moving, it's kind of weird. Should have just reversed it. When it did this move in, I was looking for the dip back into the previous high to grab fills down 102.5. You just need to be more aggressive, right? You can say you like it long, but when it makes this dip, if it doesn't get to your price, it doesn't matter. That's the dip it gave you. You have to take what the market gives you. And if you're looking for an extra 20 cents for it to go to the downside and it shows you support 20 cents higher, if you like the trend, you join the trend.
Yep.
That's just part of it. Like you can't get married to price levels.
Man.
Let's see what happens at this 103. This, by the way, on AMD, let me just always zoom out so we can see the bigger picture. You do have resistance above 103 at about 103.30 from the other day. So from here, I'd much prefer it to get underneath 103 for some longs. Then you have more room to that local top, and then you have 104 as a level as well. But what a screamer. The market hasn't even taken out the high at 14.9, and AMD does not even care today.
Okay, so just real quick, man, so everybody can sort of follow what I'm trying to do right now. All right, so just for a little bit of a zoom situation, we're short at 50s. There's a bunch of 40s. We actually got a 34 fill or 35 fill right there at the 200 period moving average. So we've just gotten some more out here. Hopefully we can fall back in and hit that 50 period. That's really what we're waiting for. But again, we're out of 30% of this trade because it not only, first of all, we got it at 20% when it hit us 1-to-1 on our risk, and then it came to the 200 period, we got it another 10%. So that's 30% right now, and then we wait now for more bottoms. That's all that we're doing. Actually, I have another order at 42 to take another 10%. So we'll have 40% left, and then we'll wait for a bottom take here because the market's strong. The market's up, I was going to say near its highs, but it actually is near its highs. That little spike that just happened right now put us right back at the highs. This is the IB high right now, so 14,835 or so right there coming in. We're nowhere near the bottom, but we did double top touch the bottom. We hit VWAP one time right away at 1030. That's the bottom, and then we hit it again right there. That's 1030, sorry, that's 1015 at 1030. We really haven't been anywhere since. Oops, I shouldn't be drawing these random lines. How do I get rid of that? Line remove, I'm on the wrong thing. We really haven't gotten anywhere near VWAP since. I mean, we got pretty close there, but that's only a half hour later. And then we had that dip down, which we actually had that piece, remember, when that came in right now. So there's Amazon. There it is. We just got our 42 fill there, which gives us another 1-to-1 R-to-R. And if it drips down, man, we are bidding 30s, like we said, right down in here. This is 26 is the 50 period. So we'll see if we can get some more out there. Intel kind of doing nothing except for trying to go back to the upside. So we'll put another bid here at 80 to take a fill. But pretty quiet. We're making money. Palantir's up to 62 right now. What else we want to talk about is Tesla. Wow. This name, man, now up 5%, like just keeps on going. We've been waiting for the 200 period dips. There's been nothing. Any weakness in the market? Let's head back over to Tesla because definitely want to buy that up as we enter into power hour, man. This stock is definitely powered up today, Tesla.
A couple of things. One, there was someone asked the host to look at the Dow and the NASDAQ on the longer term, and then someone just asked me, do I believe a firm down movement is still here short term? What levels do you see for it? So first things first, AMC is kind of making a pullback. I'm looking to see a little green, see a little bit of buying, and then take the stair step to the upside. Only want to fight that thing so long. If there's no news and it's going, it's just going. I'll start with a firm because we're still in it. I'm trailing it down here. There was a liquidity break at 1765. You can see the volume spike. Well, you can kind of see it, the volume spike in there when it took that low, and this has been the channel. So I'm going to trail it out there at 1765. I'm short from 18. Haven't added to the position, haven't been doing anything with it. But when it comes to the downward trend in a firm, the moves have been gigantic. You're talking 25 to 20, and 20, I think, potentially into 15. So I feel as if you're filling in this gap, right? Like, I could be wrong about that, but I look at how drastic these pullbacks have been, and when a firm is on one to the upside, it's just on one, and when it's on one to the downside, it just is. So it feels as if, until proven otherwise, I think this is headed to $15, but like that could change. Like if tomorrow I come in, it bounces off 17 and takes out 19 bucks, I'm going to change my opinion. But it was easy enough yesterday and it was easy enough today that I wouldn't come in tomorrow thinking I'm smart enough to call a bottom on the stock. I'd rather just say look for the short, and if it sets up, take it again. So that's generally the way I like to go here. And then as far as the overall market goes, I don't really look at the Dow. I'm not gonna. Well, I mean, we can. I'm gonna pull up the Qs because my weeklies are on Trade Ideas. They don't actually have like the futures on here, but it'll be the same kind of concept. If you look at where the NASDAQ is, just in general, you are into a major, major support level on the weekly. On the NASDAQ, it's about 350 to 355. Just find the corresponding level in the futures, and the Qs, it's 350 to 355. A breakdown here, why wouldn't you be back at 325? Right? Like if I was swinging and I was buying this long, it'd either be the tightest stop of all time, or I'm accepting it pulling back into 325. Otherwise, why take the trade? Because you can see the massive support that's in there. And if it holds and we bounce away from this, I mean, that's pretty darn bullish. Like, it's been looking pretty heavy in this range. Like, I've been saying, break these levels. I'm stink bidding this stock underneath, that stock underneath. And if we get to Tesla again, it never happens because we're holding on to the support on the weekly and the NASDAQ. The Dow, I'm not as sure about, but I've been waiting for that shoe to drop to do some buying myself. And the shoe just keeps on not dropping. Is that the right way to say it?
Yes.
The shoe keeps on not...
The shoe keeps on being worn? I have no idea. No, it doesn't make any sense.
No, that didn't make any sense.
No, it didn't have a chance to make any sense.
No, you guys know what I meant, though. We're just not breaking down in that way. Like, it'll start to look like it is, like yesterday, and then today will happen. That's the market we're in. There's still dip buyers, man.
There's so much money on the sidelines, I feel like. We've been talking about that for a while.
I got some of it, too, so it's like, what do you do?
I mean, everybody.
Everybody probably did.
Well,
okay,
some people probably maxed out right now, but I don't know. So we're trying one more time here on Amazon. This is why we're just so chilled out, because we've already taken the profit on this, and now there it goes. I was gonna say, okay, it just broke 62, so there we go. We are now out. We were short 58s there. On the reload back up. So again, quickly in, quickly out there on the reload back up. Really no damage at all. And then if you're going to look right here, Intel did fall back in and gave us this. Like, we can't get blood from a stone, right? Like, that's the thing. If the market's not really doing too much, then there isn't a whole heck of a lot for us to do. I just saw that there was a story about Toyota Motors, not a big one, not really moving, but a long-term battery supply agreement with LG Energy. It's not moving, but this is another name. Like, next time I see Randy, like, what's up with Toyota? Like, this is also, obviously it's a legacy motor company, we know that. But they had the Prius, and I feel like their energy offering should be better than what I'm probably giving it credit for. So anyways, nice downside move there into 165, gapping today, down 3%, and just creating sort of that hollowed candle all the way down here by itself. So we'll see if it can be a gravestone back up to the upside or what. But right now, there's Toyota Motors hitting the 50 period yesterday and today saying, all right, we're just going to open a hell of a lot lower. Nice move back up to 170, then a fade. So we'll see what happens here with TM. Just wanted to bring that story to everybody.
I take your Toyota and raise you GM.
Yeah, I don't know. Raise me what?
GM.
Oh, yeah, I know GM is so bad. We can, yeah, there's.
Look at the weekly chart of General Motors.
This is
so, where's the flat bottom? Maybe I actually have this one. Do I have the flat bottom break? I don't have it. Oh, I do. So can you say if General Motors breaks $30, we like the short? Like, this is the kind of trade, like, you're willing to lose. Breaks 30, I'm willing to lose that day. I don't know if it's tomorrow, I don't know if it's the week after. I hope it's not the day they cut a deal, but because that could be a trap, but that's just insane. Like, if that breaks, how do you not look at that? Look at the level on the weekly. That's like Ford 11, only Ford's not at 11. Ford's at least at 12. Ford has the decency to not be at the lows right now. General Motors, not so much. And Ford pays a dividend. So anyways, it is what it is. Thank you very much, AMC. You're just gonna go without me. That's fine. That's fine. I can try the short and lose, and then you can go to the upside without me. It is what it is. Micron took that 68 level, so I'm out. Didn't average in. Took the short here, looking for the move there, and took it out there. And this was a relatively weak name. You look for that move into here, but it's going to break out. I'm not going to fight it. Only going to be working with longs. I just trailed out of a firm as well. A firm which has been a short pretty much all day long. Even this thing is breaking to the upside. Like, if this is breaking to the upside, you know what's up. Like, it's been the weakest name in the market as far as I'm concerned. I still want to get into that AMC if it's going to continue this trend. I'm still looking for the dip buy. I don't want to take the 850 break. I'd rather get something in the 30s and 40s.
All right, just real quickly here now, Fitch analyst. We're breaking the high on the news, which is why we busted into Qs right now. So it is a brand new position, long on the market. Here's the triple Qs. We're long at 19s right now. So there's the break of the day. We took it out at 50. Again, like, I know that 50 shouldn't matter anything when you're talking about an ETF, but there it is. Nice little upside move there into it. And it looks like that might have been the top. So now we'll wait to see if there is any pullback on this. But market breaking highs right now. Thanks, Randy, for turning the bull into a bear earlier on today when it's just breaking highs right now. But there it is. We are long the market right now, and we are not averaging in at all to Intel. And if it comes back to 90, we're going to get out for flat on this trade, because I feel like this now has unlocked a possible long. One more time, you're also, Neil, above 14,900 as well.
Yeah, that's
so
the big
that is relatively big. And there it is right there, taking out 14,900. Next stop, I mean, could we stop at 14,960? Yes, please. If we can get up that high, I'll take it. Here comes Brendan on the ratings, or what?
Yeah, I was just reading this note from Fitch. Apologies if you guys mentioned this, but this just popped up, guys, as the market made a new high there. So Fitch analysts came out and said, even if there is a shutdown, remember, they just delayed it 45 days. So even if there is an eventual shutdown, it's not going to affect their debt rating.
Right.
Yeah, which is obviously that's going to spook the market to the upside. We, like you said, we just tested that 14.9.
Really going.
I mean, we didn't.
It's trying.
One of the things that I'm not a futures trader, but I know most of the traders that say this. This is the truth when they look at the futures levels like a 14.9. Like, you haven't really gotten away from it. And why do I have a vertical line there? Until you break 20, 30 points. So you're still sort of in the pocket. I'm just going to remove that. I don't know why it's there. So you're still in the pocket, but that's a clean breakout. Look at it hold the 14.8 on the dip, and then now you're looking to clean break that high of the day. I'm out of every single short. Still don't have AMC long. It's about where you can get to in terms of joining this trend. Because if you're going to consolidate up here, there's going to be some opportunities. What I just got out of makes some sense. Micron, which is trying to play catch up to the market, like look at the 68 level, that's where I wanted to get out. If it just kind of holds out above 68, that would give entries in like the 10s maybe with a 10-cent stop. AMD is, my goodness, like it's ridiculous. Like ever since looking for the dip in there, it's like rip, 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 rip to the upside. AMD up 3.5%.
I'll take it.
You show me, okay, fine. You guys are probably going to be able to find something stronger. I usually I'll make a statement like that, and then like someone says, but this is up 5%. That's I know other things are up more than that, but out of the big cap tech names that we watch, I feel like AMD is absolutely tearing it up to the upside. Tesla does this. I don't know. Tesla does 5% all the time. I kind of feel so. Yes, Tesla's up more, but I'm kind of more enamored with the move in AMD in the last little bit because Tesla, that last little pop, not as big compared to the rest of the day. Still good, but not nearly as big compared to the rest of the day.
Yeah, I know you said big cap stocks, obviously, but Palantir up pretty good still, up 5, and I'm trying to go again right now up to 70s. This is the high of the day. I think, isn't it? Or did we get higher there off the open? Yeah, I guess we did. Right at 9:30, we got to 80s, 90s, 85, right there. What about just taking out Palantir here at the high of the day? I mean, we came within 2 pennies of, not to keep saying the high of the day, of the recent high here of 70. I mean, like I said, the high is really a blowout high right off the top up there. So whether we get to that or not might be pretty nice, but we are in a pretty good position right now with our friend, your friend, and especially Sharif's friend. I mean, everybody is Sharif's friend. And that is true. Yeah, everybody that is Palantir. So we'll watch out for that. We were just sitting at 60s on the futures. It got as high as 55s there. And when I'm talking about the futures, of course, I'm talking about the trip Qs. So that could be something to watch out for again here as we will just continue to do that dance around those levels. So we'll watch out. There it is. Yes, sir. Let's go. Spin it one more time here. That's going to be a good trade for the triple Qs as there it goes, breaking higher, higher, higher. I mean, that's really all that matters as the market continues to break highs right now and go upside. Let's just hold on to it, man. We're trading the Qs. We should have, I know you guys are going to tell me, Sean, you could have made way more money if you just traded the SQQ, but that's not necessarily true. I do not care about buying power, okay? Like my account has a lot of money in it, so whether or not you trade a $20 name or a $360 name, honestly, obviously it matters. Like I could take a couple thousand shares of the Qs and a couple 10,000 shares of SQQ, but I'm not ready to do that anyways, so I stay with the market. The reason why I don't look at futures, by the way, like let's go, man. Put it upside for this trade right now as the Qs back to positiveville, obviously. And that is that just trade what you're more comfortable with. And what I was getting on there was I'm more comfortable trading equities than the actual futures contract because, again, the level 2 looks like this. And what the level 2 looks like on the NQs, for example, I'll just call it up for you right now. We're on the Z contract. So this is what it looks like. It's just one book, which is fine. It makes it easy. Like you only have one spot that you have to worry about, right? But again, with the liquidity on the Qs and the ability to get in and out pretty easily, we will just continue to trade those. And there it is right now, 75 cents. Wow, 75 cents. See, and this is what I do, like because I have no idea what I'm doing. I see 360 right there. I'm like, I got to get out because it's an even dollar level right there. But there it is right there. Let's go. A couple banger trades for you. I hope you're all having fun. And Neil, if they're having fun, the one thing they should do.
Wrong one.
Like and subscribe.
I don't have. That's the only one I have. That's literally the only one. Are we have any new ones, Fabian?
Oh, we have a
like
brand
and the
new,
subscribe.
We have a brand new like and subscribe key. We're gonna debut it right now for everybody. You guys know what's up.
Oh, you do have one.
Like, subscribe, and
Yeah,
share
there it
the
is.
show that takes you into the heart of the market every day.
So that's a debut.
His debut.
Sharif grew back his beard over lunch.
He's not even here.
No.
He took off to go to the gym because that's how he rolls. But we like to have fun anyways. All jokes aside, we do have some new ones. I have no idea where they are.
No, we don't have any new ones yet.
Well,
They're being made.
They're being made. So
We have filmed new ones.
we have filmed new ones. That's okay. Yeah, we filmed
And
ones.
in Fabian's, he doesn't need defense.
No,
or
these
anything
guys are
like that, but
working.
These
every
guys are
single-
going crazy.
Like you should see the work that gets done over
Yeah.
lunchtime and throughout the day. Like they're everywhere. One's switching and the other one's always doing something crazy with Mark. Who, by the way, like they're literally doing something right now. I have no idea. They're looking up. They're touching chords. All that good stuff. I did eventually take that micron at the 10s. I think 68 provides an easy out. I'll buy the dips there as well. Just wanted to see some more strength. So it consolidated above 68 and then broke the local high. So that's when I got in. It got to this little top here at 10, start getting out. I'll start buying the dips. AMC's really slowed down. I always feel like when the market is this strong, the meme-ish type names run out of steam. I don't know. It's almost like it's anecdotal. Like these are really good sometimes when the market's weak. And then when the market starts breaking back out, all of a sudden no one cares about AMC because the market's going up. And maybe I don't like that dip buy as much. I also was able to get some out. Weirdly enough, like I was telling you that Novavax wasn't moving. Rising tide lifts all ships sometimes. Like this just broke VWAP because the market went up. And this doesn't always follow the market, but manages to hold a couple of times. There was a nice little dip down into 7 even. I'm holding on to my 707 long. Now that you've broken this high, this is a 40-something% short float. I think this can get to 740. Like all of a sudden, this is one that turned into what felt like it was a scalp trade for 10, 15, 20 cents. Because the market ripped and because it's got a big short float, suddenly it can give you the move into 740. Every now and then, you kind of get fortunate. If the market doesn't make this pop, I'm not sure Novavax makes this breakout, and it probably just stalls out at 720, and that's all you're going to get. But not today. Now it looks like it's going to be good. WHO in the chat. I like that. WHO. Hopefully that's like a play on the Who. You're wondering why Alibaba's not moving this much? It's a holiday week in China. So like all of the Chinese ADRs are doing less volatility on a daily basis. I traded NEO on not trading it the rest of the week. Well, I shouldn't say that, but I probably won't. Baba just made a move with the market, and that's the most exciting thing it's done all day since the open, was this little move because the market broke out. But the entire week, it's I already forget the name of the holiday, but it's all week long. So next week, I think we'll be back to trading some of these ADRs.
Okay, just real quick right now. I mean, we just took it out. So Palantir, I said enough is enough. Obviously, the market's rallying. Obviously, we have on the queue. So if the market continues to rally, we'll continue to bank on that position on our futures. But let's just take it out right there on Palantir. Comes back in, hits VWAP. When there's a gap, play VWAP. Shout out to Brian for that one. I don't know. I don't really like it, but I think it rhymes.
It
so
rhymes.
Well,
I mean, what else?
We'll say shout out. Yeah,
it's
what
the
else
best you can do, and I think that's
what else
great.
are you gonna do?
But it's also very true. I can pull up any chart. I can pull up almost any chart and show you an example of that.
Yes, exactly. And that's why it was a great example. But let's go over to Brendan. You like that gap VWAP stuff?
Sure, why not? I totally missed that. Amazon just came out and said their AMP audio streaming service is going to shut down. We heard a similar announcement, if you remember, from Google going back to last week. So Google said they were going to shut down their Spotify, or not their Spotify. Google said they were going to shut down their podcast platform. So here's Spotify, a little bit of a volume spike going back the past couple of minutes here, guys. But again, Amazon shutting down their AMP streaming service.
So because we just said that, I'm like, I can find it on. I don't literally mean you can find that on every single chart, but sometimes you say exaggerations, and I'm exaggerating to make a point. But I happen to be pulling up Coinbase because Bitcoin just made a move and everything did. So I pull up Coinbase because that's what I do. If you look at yesterday's bottoms and where it closed, so consolidation off the bottom, gaps down underneath, where's the retracement to? Look at the wick at VWAP, right? Like it retraces, it gets to VWAP at 72, completely rejects the move and pulls right back into the low. Like that's the gap. Look at VWAP for a trace. And whether you're going long and thinking where's the bounce going to get to, or where are you waiting to get back into this thing for, it doesn't matter. Like if you're looking to re-enter the short or if you're looking for an exit on the long at the bottom, then I would say look at that. Like I don't know if it doesn't apply to every chart. Obviously, I said that as a bit of an exaggeration. So in a micron, I'm looking to maybe buy this dip. We're above 14.9. If we're above 14.9, then I should be buying all these dips. I thought we'd get 68. Maybe it just has to be a reload at 68.10. AMD, forget about it. It's like the strongest. This stock is insane right now. Maybe Apple. Let me see Apple here. Oh, okay, Apple can't seem to get past the high. The NASDAQ is above 14.9 and breaking the high, and Apple is still underneath the top that it just wicked. So Apple is not necessarily relatively strong right now. Does mean it could play catch-up. Not always the best way to think about things. I mean, look at the top that Apple will be breaking if it gets above here. Downgrade, you say? I don't know. Okay, so it's 173.75 is this top break. I just finished saying I don't like breakouts and buy the dips. Yet I'm convincing myself that I want to play this breakout.
Oh, man. I'm trying not to convince myself too much of anything right now, to be honest with you. I think that I've convinced myself already, obviously, to get out of Intel when that breaks higher here through O's. I'm just basically, I've already put the bid. As soon as this started to happen with the futures, I was just like, okay, we put a bid at 90. We talked about that. It looks like, obviously, this will break higher right now. Actually, I was going to put on a bigger position before this all happened, so my stop was actually at 35.03. I'm just going to put this now at 35.02. Not that it should matter. One penny higher doesn't. Oh, no. Did I put the...
What happened? Man, it's...
I just said what I did. No. I said I'm going to put the stop at 35.02. It should have been at 36.02.
You know what?
So I just got... No, it's fine. I didn't have that many shares, but that's... Oh, man. So as soon as I pushed enter, I got liquidated right away because guess what, Sean? It's above 35.02 right there. So, okay. The system works on that, but we only had 30% left of the trade. We've already made some money. Now if it drops, I'll be kind of pissed off right now. So let's put something on, see if we can get it, and then we'll put a 36.02 fill. Don't even tell me it's going to go. Okay, I got to punch some 97s now as we'll get some midpoint prints there. We'll wait to see if we get something on the short side. There it is. We'll take a little bit more fill here.
Yeah, because you can just jump back into the trade.
Yeah, we're going to try to get back in right now, but I'm going to put now, just so everybody can see what I'm doing, 36 this time, 02.
Zenze in the chat, 305. These dudes short via options. They trade spot forex. So no, we trade, like we're actually shorting the equity. So we're at a day trading prop floor, day trade the world. On almost every single name, we have locates and borrows to be able to short the actual physical equity every single time. In the event that it's something that's not easy to borrow, we have an option to pay for locate. So like if you think of a real, like a small cap or a low float name, we might have to pay a few cents per share to be able to go short in that name. But it is not options that we're trading, although options are coming to the platform sometime in the near future. I did take the break right. Yeah, I'm in the break right now on Apple. It's not really going. A lot of times, most times if I'm in a break like this, it's like give it to here and shoot higher, like shoot for a break of 174, maybe even add the 174. When it doesn't go right away, I'm generally thinking, nah, play the tighter stop and maybe go for the dip buy. So when it doesn't go right away, it was relatively weak before. We're still above 14.9. I'll play the tighter stop and then see if there isn't a dip buy opportunity, which I could have just done in Micron. That's still kind of gliding higher. AMC, just to check in, I told you, the market started breaking to the upside, and AMC, which was going, just started dying. Like, it just stopped moving. I was going to go long and buy the dip, but the second we took out the highs in the NASDAQ, AMC decided to sit the rest of this out. They're like, yeah, we're done. We're not going anymore because the market's doing more exciting things. So I just got into that Apple. Hasn't really done much. It's gone like a few cents in the money, but I'm looking for a little bit more than that before we go. We trade the world. Day trade the world. We all trade the world, but it's day trade the world where we trade.
Yeah, exactly.
I said that right.
We are getting, there it is. Yes, finally. Okay, spin it a little bit there. Man, we screwed that one up. Oops, not the Qs. Oh, by the way, the Qs came back up 20, 40, 60, 80. Only 20% left on the Qs. Nice trade there as it came right back up to 360 and it filled me again. We were watching it there. And I was just like, you know what? At 330, we are getting the imbalances. So I didn't really want to do that to figure that out. What's up, Zamalek? Yeah, he said for anybody else needing to, it was actually a pretty good quote there. Shout out to this dude right here, or I don't know, he, she, they, it, whatever. Zamalek right there. Unlucky Sean, I'll take that as me. But, you know, oh, yeah, first of all, Matt, thank you so much. We are going to be getting options, and we will trade that. Again, here it is right here. I can offer similar trading tips to Sean. Please see me for expertise on liquidations. Yeah. So right there, we did get liquidated on that. I mean, we liquidated ourselves. We didn't actually get liquidated. That's more like when someone flattens it for you, but I guess the software did do that for me. So that was a good trade to get back into Intel, because there it is. We actually took right there a 95 fill. So that's not bad. We're short 98, so you could see that. And you guys saw me take that trade. I don't know if we're going any lower than this. That was just like, I was mad that we got stopped out. So remember, my out was 02. So 98 to 02 is 4 cents, 95, almost 1-to-1. We should have got lower. I'm bidding 92s as well. And then after that, we'll see if we can retrace back down. Remember what I said on retracement plays? Like the 50 period is sometimes the best you can get. That's 88s. So any sort of a dip down into that would be really great. And then VWAP down at 80 is, it was all a dream. And if we can get that, then that would be nice. Out on Palantir, it is going a little bit higher. Still really happy with that out. We just talked about taking it off VWAP. We've learned a lot about that trade, so we'll continue to do it. We did put Adara on the spot. She froze, but then she understood what I meant afterwards. And I said, if you're going to start and trade very, very basically like Adara is doing right now, I think you want to definitely look at volume weighted average price, because it's going to give you almost like the midpoint of trades. So you know you want to be long if you're above it and short if you're below it, and then you could use that as a target to sort of clear out some of your trades. So my advice to Adara was, and she was on, this was when she was on the recap show. I think it was it Friday, or I don't remember when it was, 2 days ago, something like that. We talked about that, and if you're a beginning trader, you may want to look at least at VWAP and then start to add more. Like I have a 200, a 20, and a 50, and then VWAP. So I have 3 lines there plus it. So yeah, do whatever works for you. That's ultimately the best idea. And get comfortable with the names you trade.
To me, the most basic ones, VWAP is definitely one of them. You see that on my intraday charts, and then volume. Like I never want to see, when a stock, if you're trading off key support and resistance, it matters when volume is done and where volume is done. So when you see a big volume candle or big massive volume buying or selling, or a lack of volume on a move, it can give you a reason to maybe stay away from a trade. Like especially if you're trading like small cap names and you're looking for a reason to take a breakout or not to take a breakout, volume can be a decent indicator for you. If there's not a lot of volume into the move, it can be a trap to buy that high. You know, like you want there to be other buyers. AMD's at 104. It's super impressive name here. I just took Apple. Apple's starting to get to the upside. This NASDAQ is relentless, man.
Yeah.
Like we're holding at 14.9. It's been all green from like since we came on the show. Like there's been small pullbacks you've been able to take advantage of, but really it's just been all green. That's a 15-minute chart, by the way. If you can't really, it's hard to read. That's a 15-minute chart, my black chart. I have 3-minute charts usually to show you, and then a 15-minute over there. Sometimes I'll show you a 60, but it's been all green on the 15 minutes. So play it to the upside until, I guess, the trend breaks. Flipped in Micron from short to long. Went into Apple on this breakout, which is trying to take out the 174. Well, the reason I was pointing to AMD is because 104 is resistance on AMD from the other day. So I was just kind of staring at that to see if it would have any rejection, but I didn't actually show you. There you go. If you go back to Friday, in the pre-market it was above 104, but right at the open is flushed off 104, then came back and failed 104.30. So that is the local high where the resistance was on Friday, starting that move into the downside, right at 104.30. So Apple's at 104, take some profits there. Matt Karn saying SoFi's up. Yeah, SoFi didn't get to $7 today. I hate you, SoFi. It got to 7.15. Like if it takes 5 more cents, that's where I wanted to start the long in front of 7 even. But you know, like most things, when the price is really good, it doesn't always get there. That's one thing I've learned. Like a lot of times, the best reversals are when it doesn't get to the obvious price that everyone's waiting for. Sometimes it's just, or it's when it runs the obvious price that everyone's waiting for, stops them out, and then goes. Those are usually the 2 best setups, not it goes right to your price and you get it. Like it goes to 701, you get the long and it's perfect. That's not how it's going to play out. That's how it plays out in your dreams, not often in the markets. So Micron, next level up, if we're going to stall here. I'll take another piece out and go dip buy hunting. Still waiting for 68.10s, but the market's going up. Take some joining the trend trades, but we are running out of time to hit that home run. So it's scalping on the way up as you're joining the move. The early look was a whopping 28 million to buy. So the imbalances, like the rest of the week, have been nothing on the early look. As far as individual names go, let me just quickly throw this up. Sort it by size. Oops, the other way here.
Nothing.
NU, man, doesn't really care about new. 1 million, BAC, 700,000. Nothing really big early. This is like when you see NYSE, that's not the early. BRKR is the early look. NYSE, this is just the morning imbalance from Palantir. Kenview seems like there's an imbalance every single day. Doesn't really matter. So nothing gigantic on the early look. That's why you're getting 28 million to buy. Like nothing stands out. That can change at 350. If it does, we'll let you guys know. Certainly. What else we got going on?
Sir, not much. I mean, Intel broke above. We got out of Intel there when it broke above that 36 level. We sort of talked about that. I'm just trying to think about something different. The Qs, of course, goes upside as well, and that's pretty much. I was about to spin the dollar winner there, but it didn't go $1. It almost did. It got as high as. Actually, it did go. My bad. The high of the day is exactly $1 right there. So we don't have it. You can take it now for 90 cents. But right there, 360. I didn't even realize that. I was sitting here watching. I don't want to take it out. I want to see if we do get continuation because we broke that 14,900. So let's just play it now. But there it is right there. Oh, someone asked me where my out was. I was going to use, and I was debating this even right now. So this is something, again, Max was using the 21 period, but then was Chris actually, I think it was Chris Bretcher, actually, who's going to come on the show today, talked about using 20 periods on a 5-minute chart. So on a 1-minute chart, maybe for what I'm trying to do, that makes a little bit of sense. So we'll watch that. And then again, what I try to look at here every day is just, has a relationship held with something, right? And I mean, the whole way up, since we broke, it came back in, tested, and never really broke. So I'm using roughly that as my out, but it never hit. So when I took this long right there at 19, which was the question, I can only guess that it was probably down. I mean, I guess it was down here, so 70s or so, but again, that's a little bit too much risk, right? So I'm just trying to learn that. So that's like a 19 fill. Our first out is 50. So that's 30 cents. So that's about 1-to-1 on that first part, right? So that's what I'm looking at.
Just very quickly, I'm now out of that Novavax trade. We like this one for the $7 bounce. It never gave you the 8 break that we were looking for yesterday, but lunch money, we said if it dips into 7, going to take that long.
Right.
The market loves us because this was going to give you 10 to 15 cents, and then the market broke up. And I said, no point getting out until it gets to like 740. It just got to 737 and pull back, so I put a trailing stop in, and then it was not a trailing stop. I put a stop in if it got back underneath 35. It's like I put stop in, and then it pulls back like almost instantly. I could have just punched out. It would have been effectively the same thing. But you got to ring the register at some time.
Look at this,
we got to be
market.
This market's flying. I'm gonna get to Apple in a second. We have to be out of positions by 4 o'clock. So a lot of times, if it's at a key level, you're gonna want to take it out and take that profit. But this is now, like, we're now flying. Thanks, Randy. Like, remember that 14.9?
Randy's the best.
Flip it to the bulls. I ironically flipped it to the bulls. The moment I did it, I was actually short everything. Eventually, we flipped to the long, thank goodness. Like, obviously, it's good when you do that. Even if you do it late, it's still better to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, join the trend, that is. Like, it's fine. You can be stubborn to a point, but you don't want to be stubborn forever. We've gotten 50 points since we broke that 14.9. Like, this is a real breakout. That could get to 15,000 potentially by the end of the day, but still got to take your profits wherever they happen to lie, because we're flat, like I said, at 4 o'clock. Apple has this high on the week at 174.60. It gets there, I'm out. That simple. Like, we grabbed this probably way too late. You could have had long breaks at 73, 73 quarters, 73 half. I don't have it till the 3/4 mark. There was all kinds of opportunities to get in. This is a great entry. 73 consolidation, quarter breakout, 50 consolidation, breakout, finally take the high. It's just better to be in the trade. A lot of times, everyone wants to get the perfect price in. Grit your teeth, buy high, sell higher. I learned that in my first week as a trainee. I don't remember who said it. I think it was, actually, I think I do remember who said it. I think it was one of the owners. But it was like, you got to be willing to buy high, sell higher, because when you're trending to the upside, you're not always going to be able to buy the best price, right? It's the whole point of it trending. You're not going to get the low if a stock is trending up. So you can either sit out the move, or you can buck up Buttercup and buy those highs and continue to take care of business, which we're going to do right now.
Brought to you by IG.com. Trade Forex pairs like Euro USD with spreads as low as 0.8 pips and zero commissions at IG. Terms and conditions apply.
59.92. Okay, so thank you, Brendan, for that. I just want to get my stop out. So
Brendan.
350.99 stop out here on. Okay, good. I did not. Wait a second.
I just looked at the
350. See, I did it wrong again. It's 359. Oh my God, Sean. Focus, dog. All right, so we're gonna put it out right now. 359.99 because again, if we're gonna. Okay, good. Now, whenever it goes pending, I know it's good.
99s.
Yeah. So right there, it's just because right there, that is the 20 period. So where it's 21 period. Sorry. So we're gonna watch out for that one right there coming through. We said that. Hey, we'll follow it all the way up. So now this is $1.30, was $1.30, now $1.20 in the money as it's just falling back down in. Like that ripped, man, all the way up to 360.63. Like I said, this is the first for me, not a first for me, it's just those of you that have been watching the show, first of all, hit the like and the subscribe right here.
Hola. Like and subscribe today.
The other thing is that normally I'll trade the TQs when we're in a position for the futures. So I will always trade the triple levered. I'm more comfortable with those price levels and the way it moves. So just learning about this with the Qs now, right? So not learning about it, but just saying, you know, how aggressively these lines. See, now it's already moved up a couple pennies this 21 period. So we'll relook at it right now, but a nice win here. We've already hit the dollar club, so we won't do that again. But so far, so good on that one. And it looks like, man, like Intel today is my worst stock. It's going to be net. Like I can't. There it is. I can't just sit here and say like Palantir's the #1 stock P&L wise today. It is, but Intel is the worst. And I want to talk about this. I have it marked on the recap show as a trade review. I want to go over all of the trades, what was going through my mind here early on when we got spanked real early there, and then made some money back late on that initial push. So what have we learned from this first couple minutes of Intel today? How can we do better tomorrow? I think that's just the trader's dilemma, right? Is that you're always going to make mistakes. Can you learn from them and then act? It's one thing to learn from your mistakes and another thing to actually act on them. And, you know, we can always push in, pull out our trades, but you have to make them for reasons, right? And so there we go. Intel broke above O's. We talked about that. We got stopped out. Made some money back on the short. So Intel's been good this afternoon, but it was definitely bad early. The Qs, I have to keep checking in on this, right? Because again, it's not a trailing stop. So we're still, now we're at 05s. We'll leave it right now. As this hangs out though, this 21 period is going to climb higher and higher. So we'll get out on a break, but that's what we're doing right now, making sure we capture the rest of this profit on a break back down below 360 because Neil, we only have 8 minutes. And then those amazing imbalances are going to come out. And the imbalances was only 28 million to buy side. So buy side 28 million.
Yeah, at this point, like I don't know if I get anything new. I'm just going to trail out both of these. If my eyes start watering, it's because Mark's doing work, and when like I hear a noise, and
Nice
then I
one,
look
Mark.
up, and I've looked up like twice when I hear something, and I look right into the lights on top, which is intense. I've actually taken to whoa, the screen just died.
What happened?
I don't know. My
His monitor just died. So that might be a Mark thing. All right,
it on?
there's no point in keeping it on Neil right now. You might as well come over to me.
But see, you're still up. But
Ramin,
I'm not.
thank you so much. Okay, all right, so Neil will get his computer all figured out here in just a matter of seconds, of course. Probably kicked out something or some kind of a power thing. All right, just quickly again.
It's on.
All right, now we got to adjust this. So now cancel. There he goes. He's back now. So whatever you just did there, Mark, worked. 360.09 right now there for a clean out. So if that does happen, you know, you see how this is moving up? And we talked about the difference of this yesterday on the after show was that the difference between, and we talked about this with Brian, a trailing order, trailing stop versus just continuously mechanically fixing your stops. And that is that like, if I put in here a 30-cent stop, we'd be stopped out right now because we did go up to 60 and then we dropped back in 30 cents. So it would stop me out right now. But that's not what I want to do, despite this being 30 cents away. So why not just put a trailing stop for 30 cents? Well, it's that exact example, right? if you sort of get trailed out of something, it might have not have actually hit your stop. So that's fine. Different folks, different strokes for different folks. Like we keep saying, man, trade your book and trade your style. That's by far the most important thing to learn here. But it's 344. Should be all good. Yeah, man, Palantir, wow. This was a swing trade that we talked about yesterday at this time when the market was getting beat up, down 2% or whatever it was. Obviously today, it's acting as if yesterday didn't happen. But I said, buy some Palantir because, you know, I didn't know the news was going to happen, but we looked at it down here, getting close to 14 bucks. And I said, for a swing trade, if we do have another red day, you're probably going to want to average into this name near 14. So take the shot. Today, 6% upside. Good job there on PLTR. I'm still watching the cues because we are fading out here a little bit. It looks like we will get triggered out at that level. So again, there it is right now. You can see. You can get aggressive and just take it out here, but there it is. We are out, yes, sir. To complete the trade on that one, obviously we don't get out at the very top, but couldn't be more pleased with that one on the futures. So good one there heading into the close.
Yeah, at the same time, like Apple trailed out off like that little consolidation at 174. We have 4 minutes until the imbalances come. Micron trailed out. I don't know if we put anything new on. I did want to check back in. It's weird. Like you join the trend, it's like it's so easy to work, and then it wasn't even that crazy. Like it's kind of obvious. Like it breaks 174, just kind of get back out of it. If the market continues toward the highs, fair enough. I don't think I put anything on until after 350. If there is another move to the upside, I'd rather take that if we get some confluence with the 350 number. AMC, as I mentioned, completely dead. I'm glad I didn't do the dip buy. It was when the market started breaking out, and first I thought this was a flip to the long after the short didn't work. But the market started going, it's like, no, go long the names that are following the market in big cap tech and ignore AMC because look at that. It just ends up being a fool's. It wouldn't have lost, but it also wouldn't have won, which means opportunity cost, it's a loser. So if I traded this instead of Apple or Micron or something else, then you've lost by not trading the better thing or the thing that is going. I just want to get back over to one name we have not traded. I have not traded today, which is Tesla. So Tesla's pretty strong today. You guys know this already. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. I have this like 261. I was actually considering shorting the stock. Like I put this out here, like was it last week or 2 weeks ago, previous support into resistance at 261 on Tesla. And when we started getting close to it, I was like, this is a short at 261. And I just decided against it. You know, sometimes you don't, like, I think it's a huge level. And normally, if this was middle of the day, I'd probably take a couple of shots at this. But at 350, you don't have to fight it. This trend is pretty strong to the upside. Maybe tomorrow, this is still a good price level to make to take a short. But not the way this is flowing into it. Just because you like a level or you marked it off doesn't mean you're forced to put the trade on it. Hey man, but you said there's a resistance level here. Doesn't mean you have to go short. It means I might look for the short. If I don't like it, you don't have to take it. Sometimes the best trade is no trade at all. That could be the case for the rest of the day, but you know what? It's been a fun afternoon, man. Any place that you join the long, you're able to ring the register. Congratulations if you sniff some of it out. And again, I'm not saying why focus on the short side. I'm not trying to focus on the short side. Like I was looking for other stocks to the long. It's more that when I sat down this morning, I thought any move into 261 on Tesla, at that point it could be a short. Yes, you can always flip long at a key support level, resistance level turning into a breakout. That's certainly true. I'm not a big fan of breakouts at 348 before we get the imbalances at 350. I don't think I've ever taken one. I don't think I ever will. It's just when the imbalances come, it's too often you can get a sharp like move in the other direction. And then at 355, when they pair them off, a lot of times you can get another sharp move in whatever the general direction has been, a reversal. So I don't like buying highs and selling lows into the imbalances. It's just the way that I look at things. But yeah, you could have also gone long off that 61, and it's actually, look at the gold. Since it broke, look at that line. It's holding support at that line and giving you 50 cents. So that would have worked, to be sure. I just decided I didn't want to short it, that's all.
Still no update on the number. We're going to have that in just a couple of seconds on the imbalance. The triple Qs, of course, we get out at O's, at 10s, and it just ripped back up to 50s. Amazon following the way of Google and shutting down their podcasting service now. Shutting down its, live audio app, AMP. So they're shutting down the audio app, AMP, A-M-P. So again, look at Amazon go today. Wow. We just talked about being into these shorts. I guess we should have been long off the 50 period. Huge move to the upside. Good thing we got out of the way of that as it continues to amp up to the upside. Here are these imbalances. They're going to be coming out for you right now. Update that, click the source, go like that. And now we'll see it. We don't need those broker fills or that broker feed because we're going to get them live in about 30 seconds. Amazon, nice move up to 127. I'm really happy about Amazon because this is another name. I bought Oracle recently and I bought Amazon. Those are the two most recent names into my portfolio. And we should have sold some XLE at the top, obviously. Well, we did get out some of XLE, but we were talking about getting out of it all and we didn't do that. And now that's not looking great. I still think oil today on a whoosh down, maybe able to pick something up. You want to talk about a swing trade? Okay, I'll give you another one. Yesterday was Palantir, today is XOM. So I just feel like downside move. We saw the drawdown there in oil, so I feel like there is going to be something here on that name. But here's a push. Oh, the imbalances are out. So there's the push down on XOM. Apple with a sell. Big sell for Apple. So big move to the downside right now in the market. So let's see. There goes Apple quadunking to the downside. Quadunking to the downside goes Intel. AMD goes boom to the downside a little bit. Google, big sells on the NASDAQ today. What is that number? It is 2.3 to sell billion.
This is why you don't go long at the top.
Exactly. Well, yeah, I don't mind going long.
349 though? No. You go long into it.
No, I was going to say I don't think you do anything into those imbalances.
Not at 348, 349.
The number Brendan gave us was small. 28 million, remember it was. 28 million the other way. So to buy, right? And so there it is right there. A little bit of a reason to stay away, as Neil and I just highlighted. So yeah, nice quadunk to the downside there for everything.
Yeah, so I mean, look, like you already showed Apple. Look at the move to the downside. Easy out 174. It doesn't matter what I show you. Let's see what Tesla did. Tesla actually held up a lot better. Like it's actually bouncing off of 261. So it did pull back $1, but Tesla is obviously a higher price than Apple a little bit. So bigger move overall in Apple to the downside than Tesla. Super strong day for Tesla. Aldrin, I will bite. I'm not in any position, so I'll bite when you guys say that Mullen's moving. I have a soft spot for Mullen every now and then. I like it because this is sometimes a good stock when it starts to break out because it's clean levels. And in the game of how many times can you reverse split, make a bottom, and try to go parabolic up, it's got a 40-cent level that it's holding.
I love that game.
I know, it's a fun game because,
unless you're in it.
Stock reverse splits. What do you think you do when the stock reverse splits? If you guys can tell me, I haven't been able to figure this out yet, but if you guys can tell me what I'm supposed to do when Mullen reverse splits, then I think we can probably make some money here. I'm not sure, but it has a 40-cent bottom, a double bottom here, and now it's looking to break out at 50. I think I said this on Thursday or maybe Thursday or Friday last week. If we get above 50, I kind of like the long on Mullen. Or you could just go long off this 40 level. But I think I like the 50 break on Mullen. Maybe it's tomorrow. It's certainly not going to be today. Maybe it's in the aftermarket. But you kind of always look for, when something trades at a significant price level or gives a good catalyst, that's when you want to get engaged. I understand you could be scalping this long off road at 344, but I like the breakout when it starts squeezing to the upside. And I clearly meant if Mullen reverse splits again, we're going to short.
Yes. I think everybody.
I think you guys all understood that.
I would say if insert stock here reverse splits, it's a short. I always think you got to give it 1 or 2 days.
Yeah.
Right?
But I can't think of a good reason why a good company would do it. If they were to, then I wouldn't necessarily automatically short it. You know what I mean? You're reverse splitting because you're trying to retain NASDAQ compliance.
Yeah, it has to be one that starts below $1.
If a stock does that for another reason, then I don't believe in it. But if you're a penny stock that does it, I think you're playing the short till it shows you an obvious bottom. And if you, again, it just happens all the time. I don't know how many times you can see it. Neil's at the high day. I told myself I wouldn't trade that today. Oh, it still didn't move.
Down too.
Yeah, it still didn't move. No, it did move today. Dang it.
What did?
Dang it.
Oh,
boom.
Neo?
I got away from Neo because the long just really wouldn't press. And then if you look at it, it basically gave you a gift of the same double bottom at 850. And it got to 8. Yeah, that's not bad. Maybe I shouldn't ignore this. Tomorrow I'll look at Neo again. I just thought with the holiday week, it wasn't going to be worth it, so we were looking at other things. But with 5 minutes to go, Mullen buyback incoming. Sure, Mullen dilution also incoming as well. So it's like, how good's the buyback? If they're gonna just
Probably
dilute
not great.
and dilute and dilute.
Intel moved down, Palantir stay up, so that's going to be a good one. There must not have been a big, huge imbalance on that. Let's just, oh shoot, where are the imbalances? There it is right here. All right, so, okay. We will wait for a reversal. It was what? It was Apple, right? So I don't even see Apple anymore on here. So I would expect to see Apple make a little bit of a move backside right now. Up, right? Because it's been paired off. I don't see it here anymore. At 355, we will get another move here. So that'll be it for me. Then I'm going to go over to the big desk. Of course, we've already talked about it. We have some guests on today, which should be pretty good. Chris Bretcher is going to come on. We're going to talk all about Google, Meta, and how those sort of two conferences went. And then we're also going to look at earnings with Tilray and so on and so forth. But it should be a good show. And here we go into those imbalances. Let's see if anything pairs off. We said possibly Apple to the upside. I'm not really seeing a whole heck of a lot right now. There goes Apple, kind of flat. Anything else on here that's of interest? No. So it'll be a pass for me right now.
Unless
But
you care about TLT with the 800,000 buy imbalance.
no, I don't think many do, but maybe.
No, imbalances on TLT tend not to do a heck of a lot, but it is worth mentioning. It's a buy imbalance with, I mean, you can see what the market's doing, so the fact that TLT is pressing the highs today shouldn't necessarily surprise anybody. Been a bit of a dog lately. Everyone seems to want to catch a bottom here, but you are breaking out. It's going to make some sense, right? Like they're going to follow each other. That's not an uninteresting start to, like, if this is, a lot of times we like to look at like candles and candlesticks and patterns, but you guys tell me what you see underneath 85 on TLT. I see a hammer bottom, and now you're going to close significantly back to the upside. If the next move is to take this engulf and kind of hold out above 86 and break out, that's not a bad two-step reversal on TLT. But we've been playing this game before where you can look like you're holding a bottom only to roll right back over. So I'm not sure it's going to be over. Clint, can we look at Eli Lilly at some point? You know, the only reason we don't really look at Lilly is because, you know, again, when you're day trading, this is not generally a big day trading stock. I think the story has been great for them. I'm probably not happy that I still own these in my long term, and it's been fantastic. I don't have a better performing stock in my personal account for the last 2 years than Eli Lilly, but it's broken the 50 period moving average. Where's my 200? I got to zoom out a little bit further. Let's go. It's not. There you go. There's the 200. I just want to make sure the 200 period loaded up so you get an idea of how ridiculous the stock has been. The 200 period's at 420 on Eli Lilly, and it just broke the 50 period in the last couple of days and is trying to reclaim it. Look, if it reclaims the 50 period and stalls at 560, I'd be trimming some. That's just what I'm going to do. And I feel like if it doesn't hold on in the next couple of days, I might just take some out at that 520. I wouldn't want this to pull back into 460, 470, and I did nothing about it. Because it's been an absolute home run lately, and there's been some weakness recently here. But I don't want to panic out of it. Again, I'd probably be talking about like 5-10% of what I have. And it's still a strong stock overall. I do believe in them in the long term, but you can't ignore that pullback. With 2 minutes to go, I saw Ponzi Fonzie. You asked if Katrine could ring the bell. I turned around and she was on a call, so I mean, she's working. Dara can ring the bell for sure. Dara doing a fantastic job today, learning a lot on the fly. What impresses me, and I don't know if you guys have picked up on this, like Adara, when she makes the watch list in the morning and goes over some of the news story, like the attention to detail to be able to remember on point the news from the morning, whether it's come up or not. Like randomly in the midday, she'll be like dropping exactly what the press release was for a random stock that she probably read like 3 hours ago. Like I can't do that crap. I'll bungle it for her. I'll get the general idea, but I will bungle the preciseness of the story there. So she'll be on the bell in about 90 seconds. Checking back in on Tesla. So the market did pull a little bit of a reverse when the imbalances hit. Tesla holds 261. Apple quadunked under 174. There's a big difference in Apple's sell-off and Tesla. Like Apple absolutely got smoked down that buck. It's trying to recover here, but Tesla held up pretty darn well. I didn't look at ICU today, Alan. I just saw someone mention ICU for the first time. I was, the other day, I mean, was it yesterday or was it 2 days ago? Sometimes these all bleed into one. It could have been, yeah, it was yesterday. Yesterday, it was ICU and that push to the upside. Good hold of this at the 50-cent level. When a stock rejects, like 75 on the move to $1, you want to see it hold and bounce off the 50-cent level. And all I mean by this, I have less than a minute to go. Like you see it trying to break out, trying to get to $1, you want to see it hold on to the 50-cent level. It's a very big psychological one. A couple of red days in a row holding 50. If it consolidates there, the run to the dollar is not dead yet on ICU. But 2 red days in a row, it's getting pretty darn close. But as long as it holds 50, it's got a chance. Less than 30 seconds, Intel is super strong. The key with the stock is patience. You can like a dip buy, you can like the long. You just got to find a way to be patient into it. I was not today. That's why I call the fail on Intel. It's my worst stock today because I was not patient, not because the idea didn't work. But let's get the camera off me. Let's put it on Adara. We have the countdown on. It is Hump Day Wednesday. Go Blue Jays in 30 minutes. In 3, 2, and 1. Ring it. The very gentle bell ring, making sure our eardrums are not blown apart like what Randy would always do. It's been a fantastic day. It's been a great week. It's going to get even better. We got Chris Bretcher joining Sean. Got some trade review. We're going to go over some BOP. Actually, I'm interested the most, I think, that notion of how to join a downtrend. When you have a stock which is downtrending, how do you get into it? Buying the dip is easier sometimes than following the trend to try to short something. Great job as always in the midday. Professor, Obi, Adara doing a fantastic job on the 1s and 2s. Ramin and Fabian, always want to give it up to them. And Mark, who's been busting his butt around here all the time. Randy as well, coming through with some knowledge. And of course, Brendan at the desk. But you know what you're doing. You're going from here right onto the desk. It's our market recap. And we got our friend Sean joined by Chris Bretcher later.
Welcome to the recap show, and what a day it was. I mean, we were down.